Hello. Oh, I need the right. Hi, everyone. Looking for the right headset here for a second. Changing things in this bag. There we go. All right. There we go. Welcome, welcome. Good, I guess it's not morning anymore. Good afternoon. How's
Hi,
everyone doing?
good. I sent you an email
I
before.
was about to ask you, I was like, what's the, I didn't understand, what do you mean by locked out of your pipeline? So I didn't understand your request. So
Okay,
can you explain it again?
sure. Now or later?
Well, people are saying it's a good time. If it becomes like too long and it takes over the class, then I will stop it and connect later. But everyone, meanwhile, go to the chat and please sign in while Julie asks me her question. So yeah, it was about email pipeline. Tell me.
Okay, I went to class at the Wake Center this morning and you have to go show you've been vaccinated. And the guy said, oh, well, you're inactive. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm signed up for the class. Apparently, we're supposed to get an email from via pipeline that we say, no, we haven't been exposed to COVID. No, we don't have a fever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the clear thing.
Right,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And I don't have that anymore. And I know when I was taking your classes before, under the smart mailboxes, we sent emails to each other. So I had a pipeline there and I
Go
was
ahead and
getting,
share your screen and let's see what's happening, because yeah, otherwise we can just go straight to the pipeline where you go see the class recordings and stuff and see if it's there. Okay, so hi everyone, I'm just helping Julie out with something while people are signing in. This is when you go back to classes in person, you have to confirm that you're not sick, and so you get an email every day to your pipeline and she can't see it, so I'm helping her out with that. So can you just go to sbcc.edu first? Just go to register into pipeline. There it is, Santa Barbara City College. There it is. So if you guys want to get your school pipeline, right? Yeah, click on student. And then up there, well, actually, you didn't even need to click on student. There's the email kind of right there. It says Julie Moore, campus safety. Keep going. No, down a bit to it. Yeah, the top line of name says email, calendar, starfish, canvas. Yeah, click on email. This is your pipeline email. And let's see, in your inbox, since June, this is all you have. Okay, so you need to.
What do you see? I only see your 3 emails. I don't see it.
Yeah, me too. That's all you have. So that means that somehow they're not sending it to you. Plus you're not getting all like campus emails. You should be getting something more.
Yeah.
And it's actually active. So yeah, I'm using it just fine. So somehow, and you are registered in courses. So that's not the issue. So let me give you, I'm going to stop your share because that's all we need. That, yeah, you're not, if the email that it's not about the mailbox, the smart box, it's not about that. You are just not getting those emails from the school. So somehow they're not getting to you. So.
And when I called, the guy gave me a little card with a direct line to the pipeline or whatever. So I called it and the woman said, well, you're not listed. And I said, well, I'm in class. Obviously that works. And she said, well, let me check. And she checked and my account is more 9, whatever that is, and then my own password. And she said, yes, we sent it out this morning. So
Okay.
she thinks they sent it out.
Well, she thinks they sent it out. There's nothing unless, share your screen again. There's one more place where it can go in your Gmail. Share your screen again. There's email has a place where things that it's not like the Apple that sends it to junk. What this email does, what City College email does, is it can send it to see there where it says active, like a big green dot.
Yep.
Yeah, click on that. Click on, no, that's different then. You don't seem to have it. let me look around for a minute. I'm going to request remote control of your screen. They have a thing in Gmail where you can have things that are, they're called social search all conversations. No, not that. Let me close this a little bit to have more space. You don't have the 3 tiers. How interesting. You don't use the chat. You can collapse that and collapse that.
And I used to get everything, I'd get every announcement known to man from,
All mail. You have May, June. Wow, you really have had nothing
yeah.
since May. I'm not seeing here something that Gmail does, which is the active. You need to ask, I don't know why you're not seeing what, let me see if I can, let me see on mine if I can see what I'm trying to show you. I haven't thought about it for a while, but when I go to my email, it has these 3 tiers of social and promotional. And I'm trying to find it on yours. And so maybe it shows up in those, like you're only seeing the inbox.
Mm-hmm.
But it almost feels like you have, your settings are weird.
I don't think I did anything.
No, but in general, I feel like all, let's see, there's a spam, no spam categories. You don't have any categories. It's like you're not seeing, let me go to these settings, default, view all, you're on the default for everything. Right, a box, conversation view. Let me try out the new Gmail view. Doesn't make much difference. It's still not. Okay, so I need to go back to our class. I don't know what's happening, why you're not getting these emails, and this is as good as it gets. This is your Gmail from directly from school. And when I go to all mail, I see all the old stuff, but you're not getting it. So anyway, I put in the chat, look at the chat. Okay. And I put in a link there. First it says Doug just answered, then I put in the schedule, and if you go up it says Irma, and then right above that here, I'll put it in again. This is a Zoom link. You go there during that schedule that I'm showing you. So probably tomorrow, because today you'll be in class the whole time. And show them your email and say like this is the email they need to see. And I'm stopping your sharing, and tell them how you're not getting any of the school emails other than the direct one from your teacher, and that you are registered, and have them figure it out, because what they do, that's their whole point. Like if you go click on that link, everyone, the link that I just put in the chat, everyone just click on it, because it'll take you to a page that I need you guys to see, and I'm going to share it.
Student tech support.
Yeah, it goes to this thing called IT support for students, right?
Okay.
And what this is how to reach student tech support. You can call the phone number at the top. It says IT students, will just call this number and say, hey, I'm in class, but I'm not getting the emails, and I'm not getting that email that allows me to come in. Or if you scroll a little bit lower within this schedule, you can just click on this thing that says enter the virtual computer lab, and it's a Zoom. It's like clicking onto this Zoom, and you'll zoom into tech support, and you'll say, hey, my pipeline somehow the stuff from school isn't getting to me. And they'll say, let me see, and they'll check your Gmail and they'll see that it's not there. And then they are the ones who can help you figure out. Now, if you have issues with pipeline and online course troubleshooting and whatever, but these aren't people helping you. These are just instructions. You at this point need help from either a phone
Yeah.
person or this is a person right there, sitting there waiting to help you. This is what you need to do best. Okay, because you can also send an email explaining the problem, but if you want someone to help you in the moment, that's who you go to. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the whole point. Pipeline is usually something that, I mean, this is something only they can fix. We can't do anything about it. Okay. So you can email them here, you can call them here, or you just enter a Zoom. But if you need other schedule, then they're here from morning till 4:30 p.m. at the phone number. And but then you tell them it's nothing to do with Apple or SmartBot, like it's got zero to do with that. So don't confuse them with that kind of conversation. This is go straight to your pipeline email. Your emails are not there. They said they're sending to you. You're not getting to them. They need to go figure it inside to see what's happening. Okay. And what I was saying about the social promotion, let me share my screen here, is that when I see my email, I have the primary stuff and then I have social stuff where they put anything that might be like social media or promotions, what they think might be like, not spam, but what they think might be something you didn't ask for. And so if you primary, they let only in the stuff. So that promotion, primary, social, and promotion, I'm wondering if anything you're getting from City College is going into those, but that's what I wasn't able to find on your email. So that's why that seems to be something that's not there in your setup. And I don't know how to help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, guys. So by now, almost all of you should be here. So I'm going to change my share. So just so you know, when you go take classes, let me actually, do I even have mine? I think I just deleted mine today. In fact, I just deleted it because I deleted every day because I don't want too many emails. But when you go in person, let me see if I found an old one that I might have not deleted. No, I delete them always. So let me go to my trash. So this is the email that you should be getting. Daily session reminder. So this is an email that you should be getting every day in your school email, in your pipeline. And I don't know if you get it only if you are taking classes in person or if you all get it every single day. I think my son, who's a constant student, wasn't getting it either because he's not registered to class, but you are registered. Anyway, every time you're registered, you get one of these every day. And you need to click on this on your phone, on your email, on your whatever, but when you arrive to school, and then you need to answer, yes, no, I've been near people who are sick. I have not been near people who are sick. You just kind of click retake survey and you say continue. And then you basically say, have you been, no, I haven't been near anyone. Have you tested positive? No. Have you, no. You basically have to do this. And then where are you going to be? Office, place, venue. It's for class. So you click on that one and then they'll ask you where, and you'll say Santa Barbara City College. And so basically you need to do that when you arrive or in the morning or whatever. And then you go and then it gives you the access pass. So you'll do that in front of a tent where people are like, if you don't know how to do it, ask them to help you do it. And if not, you basically do this, which is 4 questions. And then you say the survey and you show it to them. They scan that and they give you a wristband and they let you in. Okay. But this is every time you go in person. So this is the email that we were talking about that she wasn't finding. And I just thought I'd show it to you. So, not that you guys are in person right now, but you should be getting that email if you're in class. So, and then you'll get an email saying, yep, been cleared and stuff like that. So yeah, call them and say you are scheduled and you don't know why you're not getting the emails. Maybe you're not scheduled for an in-person class.
Yeah, I am. That's what happened this morning. I was over there at the Wake Center for my class.
Yeah, I don't know. So did they let you in though?
Well, she said, oh, just wear a mask and go to class.
Okay.
They're not giving wristbands anymore. So I don't even know why you have to go up and show them that you've been vaccinated.
Oh, they're not giving wristbands. They are in the main campus. That's not good. Because then, yeah, how do you show it? So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Welcome, everyone. I'm opening a Finder window. So open a Finder window. By the way, I think I've showed you guys so many different ways for opening a Finder window, but I just want to do it one more time because I do want to remind you that you can, whenever I send you down to this doc, I find that to be the most useful one always. But for me, but you could also go from Finder, view, new file, new Finder window for people who like that, new Finder window. The problem is that this, if you have something else open, say you have your notes open, right? And then it says notes, then you have to first click here on this bottom to get to the Finder before you can say file, new Finder window. And the shortcut, which I love shortcuts, which is Command N, means new always for almost everything that's Mac. So say that you're in a Finder, like if you're in the Finder and it says Finder, and I now going to click Command and then tap the N, it opens a Finder window, which is great. But what if I'm in Notes and I say Command N, it just makes a new note, okay? Any program you're in, Command N is new of something. So again, the safest way to know that you're getting a new Finder window is to just go to this little icon and click one time. It's like the cleanest, simplest way.
Yeah.
Let me actually get rid of that new note since I don't need it. Are you sure you want to leave that note? Yeah, and I'm going to quit my notes. So remember that last week we began to identify, well, these are the next, these, by the way, this is the last week for this class. And let me clarify that next Monday is the first day of macOS level 2. So if you are signed in for macOS level 2, good. But if you're not, please sign in. It's kind of like you have to sign in again. It's a different class, but it's all basically kind of keeps learning one upon each other. I'll check later and show you who is signed in and who's not in case you don't know. But what we need to do in the next 2 days is do some more file organization. Now, when you first open a Finder window from this little icon, from the little half smiley face, your default, meaning the place that you end up seeing, is your recents. Like all of this is going to be under a place that's called recents. If you were to use any of these others, you can choose what to see. You can see, oh, I only want to see my downloads, and it opens already looking at your downloads kind of thing, right? Oh, or you can say, oh, I only want to go and look at my documents. But in the end, who cares what you're looking at? Because over here, it's as simple as going, there's my recents, there's my downloads, there's my documents, right? So the whole point is opening a Finder window and then going to where you want. I am not going to talk about recents right now. First, I'm going to talk about the rest, and then you'll understand recents, because everyone keeps asking me about recents all the time, and it's so confusing to explain unless you understand the other places. So don't ask me what is that until I've gone through what all the other places are. Now, we've spent quite a bit of time talking about iCloud versus being on your computer or being on the iCloud. Now, you see everything on your computer. I mean, this stuff right here looks like it's on my desktop. And when I click on the word desktop, there it is, right? It's Dagmar's photo organization. There it is. Screenshot. There it is. So it's exactly those 4 things. But why do I see them under the iCloud? Like if I look down here, remember when I say down here, I mean the path bar. This is so important. So if anyone missed last class, I need to make sure that you all have your path bar. Let me get this spotlight turned on, because that's what shows you where things are. So all my desktop items are in my cloud. What this means is that I see them right here, right? But they are also being stashed in the cloud. That's what that means. Now, it does not mean that you have 2 files, and this is the most important concept that's hard to explain. It does not mean that you have 2 files. It is the same file. If I choose to delete this from here, that is on my computer, it also deletes from the cloud, because it's really one cloud. I'm just seeing through my computer what's on the cloud. Does that make sense? So it's not that I have one here and one on the cloud. I really want to just be clear on that point. And it's not that if I open my phone and I see this on my phone, it's still the same one that I'm seeing through all, it's like many different viewports into this. It's like a house has many windows looking into the same garden, right? So one window looking into this file, another window is a cloud looking into this file, another is my phone looking into this file, but it's still one file. If I clip that rose, you look out your window from any of those 3 windows and the rose is gone. Got it? It's one file. But this one I'm seeing through my computer. It's on the desktop. The documents are on the desktop. The downloads for all of us are on our computers. The path will take us all the way into our personal physical computer. So what this means is that if you have a lot of stuff in your downloads, if you lose your, for any reason, if for any reason you lose your, I'm sorry, my brain is not, your computer breaks or dies or whatever, anything that's been left in your downloads is going to die with it, okay? Now, up here in this window, because my window is wide, I am seeing the word view and I'm seeing 4 icons. If my window is skinny, I am seeing just the word view with a little button on top that when I click says as icons, as list, as columns, as gallery. Again, I keep having to explain things from Mac, Intro to Mac here, but it's important that you all see things the same way. So if you're seeing things as icons, which would be that's first little one, then it's the default way that the computer normally shows you stuff. Then what you are seeing is a little tiny icon with the file name underneath. If you do the next one, which is as list, then you're seeing a list. This is my favorite one. It also shows you things like size of the file, what kind of file it is, when it was added to your computer. When you're seeing things as view, it shows you a column here. And later when we have folders, it'll show you another column and another column. So this is actually a pretty useful way too. And when you're seeing them as what this is called gallery view, then you're seeing a big preview, a little icon, and file information. So there's just a lot more that you see this way, but it's a bit more confusing to understand everything you have. So this is good when you want to find individual information about a file. But other than that, it's probably not as useful. So the one that I find the absolute most useless is the icons way. The only time you want to see things as icons if you're looking just at photos, but in general, it's just really complicated. So I always stick with list or columns are the 2 ways that I see things. And those are the 2 ways that I'm going to show you how to see things. So everyone click on list view. And if you have it closed, then choose your list view. And the next thing is that when you are in downloads, if you have nothing, like if you're like looking at downloads and you haven't downloaded anything, go to documents, go to desktop, go to a place where you have something. And as you can see, you can change the view on all of those. It could be that when you go to documents, suddenly the view is different again. So go back to the other, just keep changing so that all of them are in list view. Yes.
What did you say? Click on list view.
Yeah, list as list.
Where do I see the list? Do I just click on the view and the list?
View. When you click on the word view, if your window is small, when you click on the word view, not view, but like on the little icon above it, then you will see as icons, as list, as commons, as gallery.
And that's under documents?
Anywhere, it's any window will have that. So it doesn't matter where you're in, what you're looking at, you will have that there. Now, if your window is bigger, it might look like these 4 icons. Okay, so I'm not sure what
I'm
window.
sorry, I'm kind of lost. You said click on list view. So where should I be? Should I be on document? Should I be on the finder? Should I be on the?
You should have a finder window open. And it does not matter at all where you are here on the left side. You should change your view.
I click on the go and I click on maybe document.
Sure, go documents, go to go documents, yeah. And then up here, you should see something that shows you these 4 icons or the word view.
I don't see the word view. All I see is like a square and then the column and the.
Yeah. That's fine. So let me show you. That's possible that some of you guys are not seeing the words. Let me show you if you want to see the words and the icons. Thank you for pointing that out.
I
Over
just
here in a neutral, one second, Yolanda, in this neutral area, do a right click and you can maybe in this neutral area where there's nothing, right? In the top bar next to the word documents, right click. And I'm choosing to see icon and text. You can also see icon only. So some of you might only be seeing icons like that. And that's why you might not be seeing the word view. Or you might be seeing text only, which is the least useful. So right click and say icon and text so that you can see the word view and the icons. Do you see it now?
Now I see now the words view, group, action. Okay, now.
Okay, so
thank-
under view, now you can choose the as list, which is the second choice when you see them, the 4 icons, the second
When I
choice
click
is.
on the view, I don't see the list. All I see is when I click on the view,
Mhm.
I see icon and text, icon only and text only.
Yeah, that's the right click. Icon and text, icon only, text only. So choose icon and text.
Okay.
Now, with the normal click, not the right click, go to the word view.
Okay.
And there, if you're seeing one icon, then that should come up. But if your window is bigger and you're seeing 4 icons and the second one is the view as list.
I see the icons and I see the word view.
Okay, why don't you share your screen then? Because at this point, I need to see what's happening. If something different is happening, I don't know.
Let me see how I did. Share screen and then share.
Mhm.
So there it is.
So there's your view. Okay, great. You are in list view. Perfect. So see here where the word says view?
Okay.
Right there you have all your 4 icons. You are in list view. If you go one to the left, click on the icon to the left. No. Right there, those above the word view. Yeah, that one there. Click on that. That's
That
view.
one with-
Now, one to the left, click on the little icon, one to the left, just go. Yeah, that is viewing as click. That is viewing as icon. Okay.
Okay.
Your view changed. It's the same words. You have documents, important, education, self-improvement, finances. Now click again on the one that's the second icon, the list.
This one right here.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Now everything is showing as a list. Now the next one is columns. And that's showing you as columns. Okay, so it's just changes, but look at the same exact names. All the folders that you're seeing are the same. It's exactly the same thing. So now go back to list and leave it in list because that's how we're going to be seeing it, which is that
This one right here.
second one right there. Mhm. It's just that you have folders and I don't, and that's why it looked a bit different, but that's it. Now, everyone, when you have a folder, so since she has folders, we're going to do this with her. You can, by the way, we worked quite a bit with Yolanda and she used to have a huge amount of stuff in here under documents. And now she's brought it down to 7 items. That doesn't mean that she still doesn't have a huge amount of stuff on her computer, but she's organized them in a way that makes a bit more sense to her. So anything that has to do with finances has gone into this big folder called finances. Anything that spirituality has gone in there. Now she has some questions, old applications, what are these, right? So things are a little bit more organized. Does that make sense? That's what folders are for. Ideally, in your documents, you should have just a bunch of folders and maybe just 1 or 2 loose items. This would be the ideal way for you to organize everyone's files the way she has it. Now, if you open one of these, how do you open them? Well, go to, for example, education, SEL, and click on that little arrow on the left of the folder. And now, inside of this, she has a lot of stuff, folders within folders within folders, okay? Now, she has them all opened up, but if you go, for example, inside of education, she has classes, SBCC, SEL, SBCC, classes, SBCC, but these are folders holding her stuff. So can you go with your mouse, follow all the way down to where it says poetry classes and close that little icon right there to the left of poetry classes. So it's called expand or collapse. So see the little icon, a little arrow that's pointing down next to poetry, collapse that. Yeah, so now she's closed poetry. Now go open Mac computer classes, which is a little bit above. Nope. Yeah, right there. So now that's opening it. Okay. And then she has all her different Mac classes. Now you can close it again. So she has so many classes that she has gotten to be, yeah, close that. Okay. So this is an ideal organization because if you're looking for something from all the files she has, which is thousands of files, if she's trying to find the thing she wrote in poetry, all she needs to do is go into the education folder classes and find the poetry. Does that make sense, you guys? So this is a great way to organize things. Now, that said, if you have a lot of repeat labels, it can get confusing because I'm seeing poetry classes events right here. And then I'm seeing it again down a little bit lower. See how she has another poetry events classes. So what you should do is put all those things together.
Yeah. Okay.
Or that's all. But that, you might know the difference, but ideally you don't want to have the same one because then you don't know in which of those two folders did you put your poetry, in this one or in that one. Okay, so we're going to learn today how to do this kind of thing and what to put where.
In here, the meaning of these little things in here, does it mean they are in the cloud or?
It means that that the main file is still in the cloud, but that doesn't mean anything in the sense that you can still open, like go ahead and open, click on the little expand arrow next to poetry classes and events or short story, whichever, one of the ones that says it's in the cloud. Open that up, expand it, whichever. Yeah, that one. And then open again a folder for one of those days, Emily Dickinson letter. I don't know, one of the ones that you want to open, Hopkins, you choose. Okay, and then here you have a JPEG or a PNG, which are screenshots of this Emily Dickinson letter. So the bottom one, Archives Master JPEG, looks like it's here in the, it doesn't have a little, like if you hover over the thing that says ACA Archives. Okay. See how on the right side, move your mouse to the right and see that this one, keep moving to the right where you see the cloud on the other one, keep moving to the right, keep going, yeah. See how that one, no, you're fine. See where there's right there. See how this one does not have a little cloud icon, but the one above that says screenshot does have a cloud icon? See how you have a little tiny little cloud that you asked me what that was? This one doesn't have it and this one does. So somehow, for some reason, this one is downloaded on your computer and the other one is still in the cloud. But if you want to see them both, you can, and you can use them in with no changes. So go ahead and click right now. Click your mouse so that you can click this choice. Just click your mouse where you are. Yeah. So So if you want to see this one really quickly without opening, and everyone, you do this with one of your files, select a file that you have and you want to just take a quick view. You don't want to open it. You just want to, what's in this? What is in this? Now, when it's selected like that, hit your space bar one time. And then it pops open in a little preview just to show you. And this is the letter. It's a JPEG of Emily Dickinson's letter. Now you're done. You can hit the space bar again and it goes down. Now go click on the one right above, which is the screenshot. And now hit the space bar. And it's probably a smaller file because it's a screenshot. And now hit the space bar again and it'll go down. So it looks like you have the same thing twice. One is a JPEG, one is a PNG. Looks like you downloaded the JPEG from somewhere and you did a screenshot from somewhere. So both are available. If you really want them, then you have to double click instead of just hitting your space bar, which is just looking at what you have. You double click and it will open. Now, both of these will open in a program called Preview. Okay, so hit your space bar again. See how you guys, when you hit a space bar, what you're doing is you're doing a quick gander at what's under this name. So I hope you're all doing it with one of your files. Okay, this is not just for Yolanda. This is what I'm teaching you today. You want to see what's this file? I don't know. It's a screenshot. What's in there? You hit a little space bar and it shows you a little bit of what you have. Depending on the file extension, see on the upper right of this box, it says open with preview. Do you see this shot? You might have it under, yeah, because it's Zoom stuff. Don't click on open with preview yet. Just point to it. See where it says open with preview. This is a PNG. When you want to see it, if you really want to open the file, it says open with preview. If you instead did this with a DOCX, it'll say open with Word. If you do this spacebar thing to an Excel file, it'll say open with Excel. Like up there, it'll say open with whatever it is that should open it. Okay, so in this case, a PNG would open with preview as the program. So go ahead and open with preview. Click on open with preview now. So now the preview program opens up. It's opening up and there it is. And now the file opened up. This is actually the file open in an application that can see this it's obviously, as you can see, it's not very well, whatever, but this is what she had. This is the file that she has, right? It's the original writing, I guess, from Emily Dickinson's letter. So now you've opened the file in a program as if you want to do something with it. Now, if you didn't mean to do anything with it, we can close it again. So go up to File, Close, up at where it says Preview, way at the top.
Oh,
Say File, Close. Right next, if you quit, the file will stay open. So first, instead of quitting the program, go to File, right to the
I
right.
didn't see any.
Yeah,
file.
go move to the right of Preview, go up to Preview, and at the top,
Oh, I see. Okay, I got it. Okay.
File, and then Close
Close.
window.
Where is the close? I just
The 4 choices down, I guess, 4
Four.
choices down. Go down, open, close window. It says open
I
recent,
see.
and close
Okay,
window.
close window. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Right, and then you still have, see an example of what we did last week, where the window is closed, but the program is still open. Her preview program is still open, so you can close the preview. But all I'm saying is, it doesn't matter that one was in the cloud and one was not. Yeah, so go ahead and quit preview. But go look now, and this is the main thing I was trying to show you. Go look at your screenshot and see how the little cloud has disappeared.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Why? Because you actually opened it in the program. So it just is now has no little cloud. Did you guys understand what I'm trying to show you? One of her 2 had a cloud and one didn't. There was no difference. She could preview both of them, but once you open it, then it's like, oh, you want me in your computer. Okay, so now it's in your computer, but it's the
Oh.
same one. Whereas first it was showing you that it was in the cloud. Does that make sense, you guys?
Okay, so it just disappeared from the cloud then.
Yeah. Another way of no, is this all of these files are still in the cloud. If you
Oh.
look at the space, look at the path bar way down at the bottom of this Finder window, look at your path bar,
Oh, I
they all
see.
end
Yeah,
up in the cloud. It's just that in order, since you asked to open it,
Oh,
it said, okay, let me open the real version in your computer. So it kind of downloaded the real file into your computer in that second that you wanted that. Now, you can also download it just by clicking on a link, right? So go ahead and go to another thing that down like 4 choices, you have some other screenshots there. Say that you don't want to even open this one, but you want to download it. So go to the little cloud icon, move over to the right, and just click on the cloud icon. And there it is. It's downloading, and there it is. Now it's in your computer. Okay, guys? So that's how you look at those little clouds. It doesn't matter if they're there or not, because the whole point is that the moment you want it, it just comes down. But it's showing itself in both places. Yeah. So it's still in the cloud. It's still here. It's just that, you know, when we clicked on that thing saying save space on my computer, or my computer is getting full. So basically most of her stuff is in the cloud, and only the stuff that she really needs comes down because it's trying to save space on her computer. Does that make sense, you guys? Any questions about that? So she doesn't choose what's there or not. The cloud, I guess, for some reason chooses which stuff to put on her. You know, everything stays in the cloud is the main thing, and it all shows in your computer. And when you want it or need it and open it, then it goes, oh, sure, here's the full file so that you can open it. And then it's on your computer, but it begins to fill your computer. So you might as well leave it in the cloud until you need it. Because it doesn't matter if it's there or here, you can still see it. And if you don't need to open it, then don't. But the moment you open it, it does come down into your computer. Okay. So, all right. So now what Yolanda does is, in order to keep track of what she learns, she takes screenshots at her classes, right? And then I remember a while ago, she used to have all these thousands of screenshots all kind of loose. Now she's doing really good at organizing them. She puts them in folders so that when she wants to go find anything from Emily Dickinson, there it is, right? Okay, so this is what we're going to learn, how to organize stuff And for those of you who don't have, I'm going to stop your share right now. For those of you who don't have your stuff in the cloud, then the only difference with all of this is that you just don't see that little cloud icon. Okay. Your stuff is just on your computer. For those of us who have stuff on the cloud, if your cloud has a lot of space, if your computer is very empty, everything might still be just on your computer. But if your computer is getting full, like Yolanda's is, then you might have little cloud icons. And that's all that is. Okay. Your stuff is just as available as if it were on your computer. Before I take Julie's question, I just want to make sure any questions about, unless it's about this, any questions about this that I just explained that wasn't clear or that it didn't work for you? No, you all managed to find that. Did you do the previews by hitting the space bar? That helps us organize files if we can see what they are. All right, Julie.
Can I share my screen? I
course.
don't know what buttons I've pushed, but I'm a mess.
Go for it. Please share your screen.
Okay. So
You
I
lost your
did-
sidebar.
yes.
All right,
And
so
when I did Finder, I had the other stuff, but no sidebar. So I was
yeah.
buttons.
So
This is all I have now.
Yeah, there's two reasons you could lose your sidebar. One is because your window is too small, which I don't think yours is too small. But some people lose their sidebar when the window is too small. The other one is you somehow did a shortcut to use your sidebar. So it's very simple. As much as we turned on, go up to Finder View, way up at the top where it says Apple Finder View. Keep going to the right. As much as we turned on the path bar and the status bar, keep going to the right, two more. Oh, no, two more to view. You're skipping over view. Left, now, there we go. Click on view and then say show sidebar. Somehow you just hid your sidebar. There it is. You can show the sidebar, the tab bar, the status bar, or you can hide them, right? And in your case, you somehow, I don't know, but somehow or another, you hid it. Okay. Well, there's a shortcut and you probably did that somehow. I don't even want to go there because I don't want people hiding their sidebars.
Okay, so if I do this again, I just go to view and hit sidebar. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, ideally you don't, but yeah, it's the same place where we went to view and turned on show tab, show sidebar, show path bar, hide status bar, hide tab bar, hide, and somehow you hid sidebar. That's called a sidebar. So now you know.
What
Cool.
did I do to lose you?
I don't know, but we'll stop your sharing and then you'll start seeing me again.
There you go. Okay, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen again. Now, did you notice she does not have her stuff in the cloud? So she did not have little cloud icons next to any of her stuff, versus I do have my documents in the cloud. And so some stuff is here and stuff is in the cloud. Okay, so I have less of my stuff in the cloud maybe than Yolanda because I use these files. The moment you use them, they come down. All right. So for in comparison to how Yolanda's computer looked, my documents looks a disaster, right? Because if I need to find something, I have no idea. I don't know if this screenshot is from a Mac class or from a photo I liked that I saw on the internet, or I have no idea. Versus we knew her screenshot was of the Emily Dixon poem because she had put it inside a folder called Emily Dixon Poem, and that one was inside of a folder called poetry classes, and that was inside of SPCC classes. Does that make sense? It's a really good way of organizing your stuff, and that's what we want to do. Now, first I want to see what it is. If I can't see what it is, how can I even know how to organize it? So that's why I taught you how to just select it and hit the space bar. And you look at it and you go, oh yeah, this is a screenshot of yada, yada, yada. So this is a chalk painting my son did for Imaginary. Oh, great. So where should I put this? Well, maybe I want to put this in a folder called some of my son's art, right? So I need to make a folder for my son's art. Okay, so how would I do that? Well, one thing we can do, by the way, when you have a very full window like this, it's kind of hard to know how to make a new folder. I need to share, I know you guys don't like it when I share my entire screen because it's so big, but I need to share so you can see where I'm going. I'm going to share my entire screen again. And when I want to make a new folder here, and I'm in the documents and I want to make a new folder so that I can find a place to put this file, I need to go up to File, New Folder. Or, remember, Command N was new, Shift Command N is new folder. So for people who like shortcuts, Shift Command N is a good solution. Now, I'm just going to go to File, New Folder. Now, it's important that this says Finder to find that. So you need to select your Finder window so that this says Finder, and then you go to File, New Folder. Okay? So when I say File, New Folder, I can now create this and call this one Santi's Art. So I want everyone to make a new folder. Doesn't matter what you're making it. It doesn't need to be Santi's Art, of course. When you hit the space bar, suddenly you have a new folder. Now, anything could have gone wrong. You could have had a mess of the name. You could have done whatever wrong with it. So you can click on that name one more time and fix it. Okay. So say that I wrote Santi's Mart instead of Santi's Art. I go here and I click and I wait one single click and it lights up again. And then I go and I fix that and I put in my mouse and I undo that and I say Santi's Art, and then I either hit return or click away again. Okay, so I've made a new folder called Santi's Art. Now I try to go find Santi's Art again, and I have so many that it would have been nicer if I had changed its name. I happen to see a tiny little bit that this was it, right? So if I hit spacebar, that's it again. But why leave it at this weird name? So if you have names that mean nothing to you, why do that? Like in this case, maybe I want to have the date because of when it was created, right? But other than that, any name that you want to create, remember, there's two ways to create this, to change this name, just like we did with the folder. I either click one time and the name lights up and I change the name to Santi's Dragon _ Imaginary. And then I hit return, right? Or,
What was the line for?
just to separate.
Oh, okay.
Or I can right click and say rename and then change its name. Chance Dragon Chalk Painting, for example. So there's now, I left it at Santi's Dragon HG and I can't see the whole name. I gave it such a long, long, long name. Do you guys have any long, long, long names that you can't see the names? So look at all the long name I gave it. How do I know how to read that whole name? Well, I hover over it, not touching, just hover and see how it says Santi's Dragon Hawk Painting Imaginary. So you need to just put your mouse over it, not click. If I click, then you don't get the full name. You need to hover and there, Chalk Painting. So now I go, oh, that name's wrong. So again, two ways to change that file name. Either right click and say rename, or even easier, just single click one time on it and wait. And there it is. So now I can put the C in Chalk Painting and then I click away or hit return. And there's that long, long name. Now, everyone, I want you to do what I'm doing right now. And what I'm doing right now is making this bigger and smaller so I can read long file names. So what do I mean? If I have a lot of long file names, it's hard to just hover over this and then hover over that and then hover over this and hover over that. That's fine, but it takes a while to hover over everything to see the full name. So when we see these little 3 dots in the middle of the name, that's because our name is too long, okay? And something needs to be hovered over to see the whole name, right? So if instead I go up to where it says name, you'll see that there's this little line in between the name and the date modified. I can put my mouse right there and I can click and I can drag open so that I can finally see all the name without having to hover over everything. A really long one might still need it. So this one has a longer name, it still is. You can make it even bigger depending on the space on your screen. You might want to just make that really big so you see all the file names, but that's all it is. If you get it too small, they all just get 3 little dots. So if you're trying to really read them, click over there and move them open. Now I'm hoping you're all doing this, and if something's stopping you and it's not working, you should get me. I see that there's a question there, Sharon, but let me just finish this example. So now I have that thing that used to say screenshot now says Santi's Dragon Chalk Painting Imaginary. And here's my folder that I prepared for Santi's Art. Remember that we made a new folder. So now this is going to go into there. Okay. So I'm going to just grab it from this front part is best. And click and hold and move it up until this one lights up, and then I'll let go. And now I'm in Santi's Art with this one folder, that one file. And I can just kind of back where I came from. And now I see Santi's Art. Santi's Dragon is lost. And if I were to click on this little thing to expand, oh, look, Santi's Dragon is in Santi's Art. I'm beginning to organize my files. Okay, so you want to be able to begin to have files. Now, one thing I want to say that's really important is you need to create folders that work for you. None of you would have a folder called Santi's Art unless you happen to have a Santi who's an artist in your life. I doubt you would do that. But we can all have some bigger, remember how Yolanda, again, how she had like 7 folders, but inside of those, another folder and another folder to make it easier. So Santi's Art probably wouldn't sit alone in documents. Maybe I have a folder called personal. And yeah, this is my family member. So Santi's Art probably would work well inside of personal. So I can grab this folder of Santi's Art and drag it in until I see the word personal and drop it. And now Santi's Art is not visible, but if I open up personal, I have a lot of personal stuff, and it would seem that I have a lot of different personal things in here already. And one of them is Santi's Art. Okay, so then I need to start organizing what's in there. So at first it feels like it's a never ending situation, but if you really start giving folders for things that you have more than one, like I know I have many more. Here's another one and I click and there it is. It's another one of his chalk paintings. I know, and I'll grab it and I straight into Santi's Art and drop it. Now I'm doing there. So you want to make folders on things that you have 2, 3, 4, right? You want to have things that make sense to have a folder to hold all that stuff together. So then you just open this little drawer and everything that Santi's Art will be inside of there. All right, I just wanted to get that whole idea. And now the doing it of it might seem simple the way I show it, but when you do it, you might get stuck. So I'm going to help people begin to create these folders. I recommend creating some big folders like finances, personal or work or charities that you work for, or nonprofits that you do, or movies books that you like to read. I don't know, just the big folders inside of which you then begin to put your individual smaller files. And a good example is if you take a lot of non-credit classes, for example, is if you have different files from them, you would have a School of Extended Learning, SEL folder, or Continuing Ed, or whatever you want to call it. And inside of that, you'll have your Excel class, your Mac class, your Photoshop class, and all the files individually. Start working on that while I be answering questions, and let's see, because the moment you do it is when you start having problems, is when you start learning. So please start doing it. Okay, so yes, Sharon. I can't hear you. Your sound is off. Your sound is off.
When I go to Finder and to file, my new folder is grayed out.
Okay, so share your screen with me.
I can't. I'm getting it at 7 o'clock tonight with Apple.
Oh, so let me share my screen again. When you go to Finder, let me share my entire window. If you don't have like Finder selected, right? If you have something else selected, right? And you go to Finder, nothing would work, right? So let me actually have, these are 2 different things. And remember, you can't like create stuff. You might be creating a new folder under notes and other stuff like that. So first make sure that you have your Finder. Then when you have your documents.
I went to Finder and now new folder is grayed out. There's a new smart folder that's active.
Okay, no, don't go to smart folder yet. We need to see why your folder is gray. A smart folder is a whole different creature.
Okay.
It might have the same second name, the word folder in it, but it's a completely different creature. So we don't want to go there. Are you in the documents choice right here? Trying to think where you might be.
Wait, my documents. Yike. My documents, oh gosh, there's three things like iMovie, which I've never done, Quicken Reports, which I don't do. Documents local, that's all screwed up. I don't have
Well-
anything in documents of any importance,
Where
but I
do you
have
have
a
yours?
lot in recents. I have a lot in recents.
Okay, so I'll talk about recents in a minute, but go to your desktop. Do you have your stuff on your desktop
Desktop.
or in your downloads?
Yeah,
Let
I
me figure
have
out.
some stuff in my desktop.
And how
I
about
look at
downloads?
downloads too. Okay, everything, okay, there's more in downloads, but there's the most in recents.
Okay, but let me say again, let me start explaining recents then, because people will say that and it means nothing. Not to discredit what you're saying. Here's what I mean by it means nothing. The computer imagine a house. You buy a house with 3 rooms, right? And then it has a kitchen and a bathroom and 1 bedroom and a living room, right? So that's what these things are. The desktop is one of the rooms, the document is another of the rooms, the downloads another of the rooms, kitchen, bathroom, doesn't matter. These places exist. And if a file is in the desktop, it can be moved to the documents or to the downloads. Like these are places that the computer comes with, literal like divisions in your computer storage, right? So if a file is in the desktop, you would see it in the desktop. If it's in the documents, you would see it in the documents. If you click on downloads, you would see it in the downloads. And if you look down here, it would tell you where it is. Recents is not a place. Recents is a time. The last thing you open, top to bottom, shows up here, but it is not a place. So watch, pay a lot of attention to it. I'm going to show you. I'm going to make this smaller so you can see. When I click on the word screenshot, if I look at the path bar, it tells me that my screenshot is on my desktop in the cloud. When I click on trips to Princeton, oh, that one is in my downloads, which is inside of my SBCC official. See how it's not a place? All it is a description of top to bottom, when was the date that I last opened it, okay? So if you click on this here, the things that I last opened or first opened are all that's showing me, but it is not a place. So Sharon, select by a single click the top thing in your recents and then go look at the space bar on the bottom, look at the path bar and tell me where does it say that that thing is living in.
Look at the first thing in my where?
Go to recents where you said you have a lot of stuff in recents, right?
Recents, okay.
And then select your first file that shows up at the top.
First file.
Now look at your path bar. Everyone has to do this, by the way, because recents is the hardest one for people to understand because I can't translate into a real example in real life. We can't do this to stuff.
My first recent is a download about a hiking schedule. And I don't see, there's no pathway on the bottom.
Did you turn on your path bar? Do you have a path
Oh,
bar?
yeah, oh, yeah, okay.
What
Okay,
does
yeah,
it
I
say?
found it.
So what does it say?
It says Sharon, desktop.
Okay, so that's on your desktop. Okay,
Oh, okay.
so that's what it means. It's on your desktop. So now go click on your desktop, find it, look at the file name. What's the file name? What does it say?
Tuesday self-led hikes.
Okay, now go to click on your desktop and see if you find something that says Tuesday Self-Led Hikes.
Yes.
Okay? You all should be doing that. You should be doing that. Now, click on Recents. Click on the second one.
Okay, got it.
What does that one say it is? Like, where does it say it is in the path bar?
It says under Sharon, under desktop.
Okay, so once again, find that file name, whatever it might be. Mine is Trips to Princeton. It's in downloads. So I'm going to go to downloads and yeah, there it is, Trips to Princeton. You in your desktop, do you find whatever that second file name is?
Yes.
Okay, so recents is just in order of the last ones that you've opened, but they exist in the place they exist, which is these 4 folders that I've mentioned. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mhm.
So if you don't know where you put stuff, you can always go to recents and go, well, I know I opened it last week. So you kind of go to the dates and you figure, well, last week is around here, and you look at the names and you might find it because you know you opened it last week, right? So you go, oh, if I opened it last week, maybe it's around here. But if you haven't opened it since May, whatever. So I don't open many files here, so my dates are very long. But you'll see over here that this says June 28th. So I opened this one on June 28th. But if I need to find it, where is it? Oh, it's in the desktop, which is on the cloud. There it is. So image 0526, if I go to my desktop, there it is, image 0526. So this is where they live. This is where I need to organize them, where I need to store them, where I need to take them off, wherever they are. But so if something is in your desktop, where should it be? 99% of the times, anything that's on your desktop should be where?
Documents.
In my documents. So if I find this file here and I go, oh God, I have this one in my desktop, it should be in documents. This one too, this one too. So I'm gonna grab it and send it to documents. First of all, if I want to give it a name, in this case that makes sense, I'll hit the space bar and I'll go, what's this? Oh, it's a screenshot of fonts. Okay, so this is the screenshot for fonts. So I'm gonna click on that, and it's a Mac class. Screenshot of fonts choices. So I take screenshots to then show you guys things. So that's what that is. Okay, so maybe this would be something I just, so now I know what it is. I gave it a name. I'm going to put it in documents. There it is. Boom. So my goal today is that you guys take just about anything that's in your desktop and put it in your documents, because that's where it should go. Why? Because your computer gets really bogged down when you have stuff on your desktop. Then once it's in documents, you organize it into neatly organized folders that tell me this is my exercise classes. And then you put my list of self-guided hiking trips, or this is health, fitness, inside of which is my hiking trips list, or trips, hiking list, self-guided. I mean, I don't know under what that file would go, right? It could be under traveling to Santa Barbara. It could be under health, or it could be under rehab for my bad ankle. Who knows? You know where that file goes, and you put it in some place where every time you want to find out all of your different, hikes, you'd know where to find it in your documents. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes, so we just take that folder and we drag it over to.
Yeah, so you drag it, you just do like this, put your mouse ideally near the icon itself, and I'll explain why a bit later, but the beginning of the name and the icon, and then you drag it to where you want it, and when that place gets blue, you let go. And now that thing went into my documents. And if I look over here, if I actually have all my different things closed, you see that it came in here. In this, ideally, this is set up by alphabetical order. So it starts with numbers, and then with A's, B's, D's, E's, I's. There it is, image 0562. Okay. Now, ideally, this I will organize as well. But my goal first is put everything in your documents that you want and get rid of what you don't want. So if you want it, give it names that make sense in case you had a name that made no sense, which happens to screenshots. But you might know exactly what it was. This is Dagmar's for organization. I know exactly what it is. I want it. I'll put it in documents. Okay. Now, most importantly, after you've emptied out your desktop and put them all in documents, then we need to do that to the downloads. And the downloads is where some people have never cleaned it up. So if you look at your downloads, here it says 14 items, but I have seen people who have thousands of items in their downloads. I mean, if you keep downloading and downloading and never move them out of there, you will have thousands of items. If you download one of my Photoshop class files, I put like 50 files in there in one little folder. You see one folder with 50 files and it's sitting in your downloads. If you want to keep them, you drag them to your documents and work from there. Now, for those of you who are dragging things to your documents, then that means that you're putting it from your computer into the cloud. So that stuff won't be lost anymore. So say you downloaded a cute photo of your niece that was just sent to you by your sister or whatever. So you don't want to lose it amongst 85 photos and files in the download. So you just put it in your documents. Now, what to do with photos is we ideally we would put it in the photos program, but maybe you just got your taxes back from your lawyer, a PDF with your taxes. Well, you grab the PDF of your taxes and you drag it into your documents folder. But then in your documents folder, you drag that into your finances folder or into your taxes folder. So like inside of my finances folder, I would have taxes for each year. Okay, so the goal today is to go through all the files that are in your downloads and documents and desktop and put them in the documents folder. Now, some people, when I have them share their screen, they have a bit of a mess that if you go into the Photoshop hard drive users and stuff like that, some people have files all over the place here from when this was available. If that's you, and if you're not sure if that's you, please ask me, because this can really mess up your computer to have stuff kind of hanging amongst all this kind of stuff. So if you go to, remember, I have the Macintosh hard drive. Some of you guys had your name down here. If you go to your name down there and see a bunch of different, I forget that I'm in the center, whatever, and you see, you should see only applications, downloads, movies, music, pictures, public. If you see loose file names all over here, those all need to be dragged out and put into the documents folder, and then we'll look at them in there to see what to do with them. Okay. So if you've you don't want to move any of these out of here ever, these should stay there. So if you have any questions now, I would really appreciate the following. I never got around to doing this, but if my other classes, I created a place where you guys could show me your screens, your computer screenshots, but I don't want to confuse you with one more thing to do, but at least I want you to share your screen so that we can go up and down this little setup and make sure that your setup is correct and that you don't have files in some strange places. So I'm happy to do that if one by one you share your screen. Meanwhile, I want you to be like making your folders and putting your files away to get to the point where your files are neatly categorized. Again, I give Yolanda's example because that was very neatly categorized. Now, she does have many duplicates, and it's not that easy to find when you have duplicates of the same thing. But I don't know if she has the two poetry things with different files from two different classes, or if she duplicated them. Then you'd have to open both and look at them and compare, right? So I'm going to leave that. Then you can just join. If they're different, you just grab the ones from the other one into the first one and you get rid of one folder. And now you have one folder with all your stuff. But if they're duplicates, then you want to get rid of one of them. So that's up to you to look and see what you have in your computer. If you want later, Yolanda, we can, once others are done showing, I can help you look into how you would deal with, say, those two poetry files, for example. But I have some hands up. So your work right now, while I'm helping people, is to go to your downloads and to your desktop, and any files that you recognize. If you don't know what they are, hit the space bar, you look at it and go, oh yeah, no, I don't need that anymore. Watch, if you don't need it anymore, right click on that file, move it to the trash. So you look at this and you go space bar, oh yeah, right click, move to trash. Or, oh no, that's really important. If it needs a new name, give it a new name, and then put it in document. So basically my goal is, see how they're disappearing from my desktop? My goal is that by the time we're done, your desktop is empty. Now, I know some of you will go, no, I really need this on my desktop. Fine. If you get into the place where you leave 2 things on the desktop, 3 things, and then talk to me and we'll talk about why, there still might be a better solution for that I'll help you with, or that's perfectly fine to leave 1 or 2 things on the desktop. So that's the goal for desktop. For downloads, the goal is, if you need it, and I'm going to see what's this one. Oh, these are flowers that my Illustrator students shot. So I'm going to do Illustrator student flowers. And now I've given it a name and I want it in my documents. Later, I'll organize that and put it into student files. Okay, or this one, I'll go, do I need this one anymore? No, that one's that one, no, that one I really don't want anymore. How about this one? Sure, the ones that I don't need, let's just get rid of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't need this one. Right click, move to trash. By the time I'm done with downloads, I should have only, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and right click and move this one to trash. I don't need that one, move to trash. So I'm basically, what if I have a ton that I need to move to the trash in a hurry? So you click on one, click on the other one, hold down the shift, hold down the shift. Like if I click on this one and then hold down the shift and click on the last one, they will all get selected. If they all need to move into the documents because they're all good, click one tick, click on the bottom, and then you can drag them all at the same time into documents. Okay, so they can all be moved two at a time. So I'm going to get rid of these two and right click and move two of them to trash at the same time, right? Versus I know that I want this one and this one, and so I'll move both of these two, but not that one. So how am I doing this selection where I'm getting this one and that one and that one? That's because I'm holding down the Command key. So if I know that all of these need to be selected and I'm not sure about the rest yet, I go, oh yeah, no, I know this one's good. And I know this one's good. And I know this one's good. I'm holding down the Command key and I'm able to select different levels. Okay, so I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to click on that one. And then this one, and see how they are separate? That's because I'm holding down the Command key. And then all three are going to go into my documents. I'm going to grab one of them, it doesn't matter which, and move it over and see how three files are going over. Boom, all three went into the documents. Go back to downloads and I'm cleaning it out. Now, if you don't know what it is, if you can't understand what extension it is, see how here it says .docx, .pdf, .png, .mov. If you don't know what these things are and doing a little preview doesn't tell you anything, then you need to ask me. So by the time we're done, you might have 2, 5, 10, whatever is left in downloads that you don't know what to do with, and I'm going to help you with that. Okay. So keep working on that while I keep answering questions. Yes, Julie?
Okay, I've made a mess again. Can I show you my screen?
Of course. You guys, this is what I want. I want you to show me your screen, so don't feel bad for wanting to show me your screen. That's exactly what you need to do. All right. I don't see any mess, but what are you talking about?
Okay, if I go to downloads, I can see the little carrot here and, you know, the little icons.
Yeah.
When I go to documents, all I see are the names. What happened to the little carrots?
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, the carrot, okay, go back to downloads for a second. You only have a carrot on a folder. See that?
Yeah,
That's the only place you have a carrot on is on a folder. So now you scrolled in and see how now you've lost them again. It's because you kind of scrolled sideways. It's not because you were in downloads. Because you, so put your mouse over the names where it says connect there. No, down into the files.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, put your mouse, I'm telling you to do this. Put your mouse a little bit lower over all the file names. A bit lower. Yeah, there. Okay, and now, do you have a mouse that moves sideways per chance?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you need to move, when I mean a mouse, when I move sideways, I mean one of these magic mouses. Now you need to move your finger to push it sideways. Get down into the, keep going down a whole nother inch, but yeah, like,
Okay.
yeah, so let me show it first here and then I'll have you share again. Give me a second because this is one of those things that's hard to, I'll explain, I'll show it here. So guys, if you have a window where you are not seeing some of the information, like see how if I make it really big, I see all my information. But if your window is a little bit smaller and you're not seeing all the information, on a Mac, you can move sideways, see, like that. And what you're doing is you moved a little bit sideways and you need to just move it out. That's what you need to do. So what am I doing? If you have a magic mouse, you're moving your finger sideways. If you have a, the computer's little touchpad, you move 2 fingers to move sideways. Okay, did that help? But your
No.
mouse has to be here. So if your mouse is over this, nothing's happening. Over there, nothing's happening. Over here, you need to be in the mid, like I'm not clicking on something or anything, I'm just in this area and I'm moving it sideways. Okay, and when you start moving sideways, you see this little scroll bar that you can do. Now, if you don't have a magic mouse, then you can move the little pad on your notepad. If instead you have a PC mouse, and I don't have one with me right now that doesn't move sideways, then you have to use a scroll bar. So now I'm going to let you share your screen again, and then let's see. Oh, she's going away. All right. Well, I don't. Are you looking for a mouse or? I can't hear you. I stopped hearing you.
Sorry, it's a long distance phone call. I
Oh,
just
that's-
put it under a pillow. I
Oh, no,
tried
no,
that,
it's
moving
okay.
it sideways.
All right, so share your screen and now let's see what's happening because now maybe there's something else that's wrong. That would help everyone. Okay, so put your mouse now in on top of, say, where it says genealogy papers, like move it in, like move it into the name there. Okay, now are you on a mouse? What mouse are you using or what pad are you using? What are you using?
It's an
One of
apple.
those.
It's,
Okay, one finger. Okay, scroll up and down. You should be able to scroll up and down. Yeah. Okay, now move to the right. Yeah, and now to the left. There it is.
oh,
Okay, you just need to be able to go up, down, left, right.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
you had just hidden it. So now try to the left again. Try moving to the left. See how you can hide it yourself. And you had it hidden just enough that you were not seeing the things.
yeah, because I knew if I put my, my arrow here, I could make.
No,
it
that just
see.
makes the window smaller or bigger. But
Yeah.
the stuff that you've hidden because you can't see, you still, so try again, put your mouse, your mouse needs to be on top, like not there, like down, yeah, in the area, and now move it to the left, to the right. Got it?
Yep, thank you.
And the thing is that when your window is really big, and let me just stop your share and show mine again. When your window is big and you're trying to do this, you'll go, oh, it doesn't work for me. Why? Because if your window is big, you move left, right, nothing's happening. Why? There's nowhere to go. There's nothing hiding. You're seeing everything. But when your window is smaller, you'll
Right.
notice that there's something to hide, right? So here, there's very little to hide. So it barely moves a teensy bit. But when there's more to hide, here I'm hiding the dates. Now there's more to move to. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Same
thank
thing
you.
with if I try to move up and down right now, there's like nothing to move to. Why? Because I'm seeing everything. But if I go to my documents where I have a lot of files, now I can move up and down because there's something to move to. And left to right to move to. And you had left yours kind of like right there. So it was like, how do I see that? By moving to the right. Okay. It's confusing because you go, I'm seeing everything. But no, you're probably hiding the last few little PMs. And that's what was happening. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. No, guys, this is why you are in class and not reading from a book that wouldn't be able to explain that. All right, Michelle. Your hand is up. And
Yes.
Yep. Mhm.
I'm wondering if hold on, I gotta find it. I have Zoom .us in my downloads. Do I need
Oh,
to move that into
no,
documents?
no, great point.
What?
Can you share your screen? No, you don't. Share your screen because I was hoping to get examples of things like that. So this is a perfect example.
Um,
Can you share your screen? or not?
okay, yeah, sorry. I'm getting there.
No, I know, but if you need a hand with that, or if you can't because you don't have a computer, just let me know. I'll show it on mine, but yeah,
Yeah, here.
okay. All right, so this is perfect. So guys, looks like you've done great. You've left 3 things in there. And remember I said, if there's something you don't know what it is, ask me. And so Michelle is doing exactly the work I asked her to do. This PKG, and I'm going to go down in the screen, PKG and .dmg files, those 2 that I put in the chat. So she has a PKG and many of you guys have DMG. Those files are files that hold applications, okay? They hold an entire application. What does that mean? Maybe you went and downloaded something like the Zoom PKG, or when when you installed something, anything you install, right? So each time you install it, in her case, it looks like she downloaded it. If you look at the date, see, look at the right side where it says date added. It says June 27th, June 29th, June 29th. So it looks like at the same 2 days and 2 days later, you installed it and 2 days later you installed it. A lot of time people do that because they don't see where that installation goes. They don't know where it is. And it's like, huh, and now there you go. Anything you download goes into your downloads folder. So now that holds the application. Now, clearly you've already installed it because you're on Zoom with me. So in order to install it, what you had to do probably was you had to double click this file. This all happened on June 27th or June 29th already. Yeah. So listen to this example. Some of you have heard it 250 times. You go, you buy a banana and you put it in your kitchen counter. And this is your Zoom package. It's a kitchen counter. You let it sit there. And then on the 29th, you figured, oh, I don't know, I can't see my banana. You went and bought another banana and you have 2 bananas on your counter. And then you went, really, where did that banana go? You bought a 3rd banana. So you have 3 bananas in your kitchen counter. And then you go, oh, this is what I had to do. I had to install it. So at some point you double clicked on one of these, which is equivalent to you opened your banana and you installed it. You ate your banana. Now you have a banana peel. This is the leftover peel of the Zoom package that you've already installed. It is completely unnecessary. As long as the program has been installed, any PKGs or DMGs that I put there in the chat are the installers of the application. If you haven't installed it yet, go ahead and double click and install it if that's an application you need. But if you don't need it, here you have 1 banana peel and 2 pure bananas that by now are rotting. So all 3 get to go in the trash. Okay. And you can right click trash each 3 of them, or you can just click on the top one, hold down shift, click on the bottom one, and then trash one time all 3. These packages are huge. These DMG files are huge because they hold an entire application. So you need to remove them. It used to be that people had tons of them, but now, other than Zoom, Zoom doesn't do that, but a lot of the applications, when you install an application, when you're done installing, it says, do you want to send the thing to the trash? And you should go, yeah. So it sends the installer to the trash automatically. That's a really good innovation they've done over the last couple of years. So people are having less of these banana peels in their downloads, but these Zoom still leaves them. So go click on, go ahead and do it. Click on the top one. Oh, and by the way, when you install 3 of the same thing, or when you keep downloading things of the same thing, it can't have the same Zoom name each time. You can't have 2 files with the same name. The computer doesn't allow you to do that. So it sees, oh, that one's already there. So it gave the second one, it gave it the number 1. And then the third one, it gave it the number 2. So you have the one with no number is the first one you downloaded. The second one you downloaded, it says 1. The third one you downloaded says 2. If you keep downloading it, you'll go up to 7, 8, 10. Some people have tons of them. They're all useless. They're all the same thing. So go click on Zoom 2, the top one. Go ahead and do that. Click on Zoom 2. Michelle?
Yeah.
Go click on Zoom 2. Can you do that? Can you select the Zoom 2 choice?
Isn't that what I did?
I don't see anything turning blue. It should be turning blue. I don't see your mouse anywhere either. Is it on your screen turning blue?
Okay.
If you move your mouse, do you have a mouse?
Do you want me to open the?
No, I want you to trash it, but I need you to go to it first to select it. Even if you wanted to open it, you would have to go click on it, right? So you have to go click on it to select it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Right.
Have you selected it? If so, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Not the word Zoom 2 should be turning blue. Zoom 1, Zoom 2, one of them should be turning. Take your mouse. Do you have a mouse or a touchpad? Are you moving your finger or a mouse?
It's a pad.
Okay, so move your mouse, which would be the little arrow
Finger.
with your finger all the way over to one of these three words. I don't care which. And I should see your mouse appearing. I don't see it appearing.
Really?
All right, well, maybe the Zoom isn't showing it on yours. So you see the Zoom, one of these three has turned blue for you?
Yeah.
Okay, then right click and choose send to trash. Maybe the Zoom is stopped. Do you know how to right click on a touchpad? You need to put two fingers down. So click with two fingers down on a touchpad. That's give you the right click. Okay, one disappeared. Yeah, so we're not seeing the blue. Okay, good. So I was going to have you select all three, but yeah, and then now go down to the last one and right click and send to trash. There you go. And they're all have been trashed. Perfect. For some reason, we couldn't see you
Okay,
selecting the
then-
file.
So is it then in applications?
Yes, if you go to your applications folder, go to the left and select your applications folder. So scroll down where now you're selecting downloads, go and choose applications. Somehow we're not seeing what you are sharing. I saw it and disappear, but I
Oh,
don't
I see it down here.
Yeah, for some reason, nothing is sharing.
It's
So
down
I'm gonna-
here.
Yeah, but we're still stuck in your downloads that are empty now. You're
Oh.
not seeing whatever you're sharing is not sharing correctly. So I'm gonna
Oh.
stop your sharing, but yeah, I'm gonna show you all what
Okay,
she's trying to share is that if here on the left, you go to applications, then at the very bottom, you should be seeing Zoom, right? That's when it's already installed, it goes here. But this is the already installed file. You don't want to get rid of them from here. This is what's working. These are your applications that are working. But when you have the DMG or the pig package in the downloads, that's just the banana peel, so to say. Right click, move to trash. All right. Yeah, for some reason, when you were sharing, it was just stuck on that first screen and it wouldn't show us anything that you were doing. So, so
My
that's why I
internet
went-
my internet connection's still a little spotty.
yeah,
mostly
that's,
good,
that's
but-
fine. It worked. I saw you trash them and you were able to share what your question was, so that's fine.
Okay,
right.
great.
So that's perfect. All right, so I'm gonna stop your share right now, if that was it. And the next person who has their hand up is Dorothy. Meanwhile, everyone please be working, because as you work on this is when questions come up, like Michelle's question, right? So please keep working and asking questions. Yes, Yolanda. Oh, Dorothy, your question? You lowered your hand.
Yeah, no, I just lowered it because you called on me.
Mhm.
No, all of my downloads are also in Dropbox. So when I delete any of them, they ask me, of course, do I want to delete it from Dropbox too?
If
And
you're
all my
deleting
other
it,
devices.
yeah, if you delete it because you don't want it, then yeah.
Yeah.
Now, she has something set up on her computer where she has everything automatically duplicating itself to Dropbox. That's a very specific thing that she's doing, but it's not, you know,
Not good.
well, no, it's not good or bad. Meaning it doesn't answer that. Don't anyone get confused about this, because it's something that I know because she's shared her screen with me a few times. I'm beginning to understand how her computer is set up. It's complicated setup. That's fine. I'm not gonna I just don't want what she says to be something else that people misunderstand. That's all. But yes, if you delete it from here, it'll delete from Dropbox. So basically, if you don't want it, then delete it from everything. But if you want it, it's Dropbox is functioning kind of like the cloud in the sense that it's not a backup. All it is a second place for the same things to be. So if you delete it from one, it deletes from the other. Okay.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's in my, it's in my downloads and I want to get rid of my downloads. So if I just move my downloads into other, documents, I guess it'll come out of Dropbox too.
Don't you have your documents also in Dropbox? I think you had them in Dropbox too.
Yeah,
So then it moves to your documents that are in
I
your
just need to
Dropbox.
make a choice.
So, yeah, because she has like a duplicate thing set up with Dropbox, which if it's useful for you, that's good. Whenever you shared your screen and you have all those archives, I find it very confusing to understand where things are in your computer. So use
So
that
do I.
path bar and find out where they are and decide if you need it there or not.
Mhm.
It's a choice that you've made, and that works as long as it works for you and as long as it's not confusing and you can find the things you need.
Yeah, one of the problems is the more I put in Dropbox, the more expensive it gets. So
But why are you using Dropbox? Just to know from, I mean, you've had it for so long, I don't know.
yeah, because I want to be able to access it from other places, but if it's in the cloud, I don't need to put it in Dropbox.
Yeah, I would pay either cloud or Dropbox, but
Mhm. Yeah.
not both. And if you have other, I mean,
Mhm.
it's like duplicating your work, and neither one is a real backup, right? Like if you're going to put your money in, I would put it on Backblaze or something like that, where that's an actual backup, where things don't delete once you delete them because they're there in case you need them. It's a different kind of, anyway.
Okay.
But it's a choice.
Yeah.
All
Thank you.
right, you're welcome. Yolanda, your question? Your sound is off. Your sound is still off. There we go. Nope, your sound is still off.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
So I because I'm getting so confused with having to go to my icon finder. So I went to go and then click on desktop, and I don't know how can I just share screen?
Just share your screen, please. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, okay. And in the corner there is that icon of messenger, and I don't know where it came from from all these desktop documents and iCloud. And so I had put it that I was going to ask you, because I don't want to just drag it to the trash can and
Yeah.
all and then when I click on yours as Diana, and I click on all those, I don't know what those are,
Yeah, they're aliases. So, okay. So,
and then it says that there are like 207.5 MBs on each,
Yeah.
that if I drag them, I was afraid I might be messing up so much already. So I
Yeah.
just,
so basically, let me have control of your screen for a minute. Okay. All right. So don't move your mouse. I'm going to close this for a second because this shows something else that's happening. Basically, this is something usual. Again, it's been a while since I've taught the intro to the Mac, but in the intro to the Mac, I teach you about how to put applications on your dock or put them on your screen. And Messenger is an application. And if I go into here on to show her applications, right, here's your applications. She should have her Messenger application here. Let's see, name and messages. So you don't. No, you don't have, because of,
so that could have come from there, why it is not
yeah.
there.
So your Messenger application should be here. So I'm gonna just drag it in and put it. Nope, but that's just somehow you installed it on, because if I put it in here, it's just gonna be a location. So it's an application that got installed on your desktop, which it shouldn't. Applications should be installed in your applications folder. But if I move it in, I'm just getting, yeah, so that's not gonna work. Okay, so basically, Messenger is an application. It's a Facebook application where you get to chat with friends and stuff like that.
Wait, excuse me, can I ask, but you were able to move Messenger over?
No,
into
no, I
Mess-
wasn't. I'll show you in a minute. All I
Oh, okay,
got,
thank you.
yeah. See, you have it installed over here as, it's a long story, but this is installed as if it were its own.
See, those are also things I don't understand, how they do get that.
Oh, hold on.
Because I don't remember.
This is the application folder. Hold on, it's a DMG. That's what's happening. I went into, it's a DMG. This is the DMG that for some reason ended up on your desktop, meaning you need to install your application still. Let me explain, because But Michelle saw, rightly so, it looked like I had been able to move it, but I hadn't, because watch. Let me just do that again. First of all, if I bring this in here, see that little arrow, big arrow that's showing up, that big like kind of curvy arrow? When I let go, see over here, so that messenger has that little curvy arrow there. That is an alias. Alias is equivalent to a shortcut. So if I were to click on this, it would take me to that. And over here, you don't want shortcuts, you want real applications. So I'm going to right click and move that, because this is just a little alias. And what I mean about aliases, what the word alias is, some people know them as shortcuts. It's a quick way to get to something. So right now, everyone pay attention. What I'm showing now isn't like an answer to Yoli's question. This is something for everyone. Again, it's macOS, it's the intro to the Mac stuff that I'm having to teach here versus getting into file management. When you click on an application folder here, so everyone go to your applications folder, be very careful, you don't want to delete anything from here. These are all the applications that 90% of them came with the computer. Okay, now if you look at yours from top to bottom, you're seeing the first one is App Store Automator. This one, I believe, is something she installed herself. Most people won't have that one. Avast One and an uninstaller. That would not be there unless you installed it yourself. The computer comes with books and calculator and chess. This is something she bought and installed or got for free and installed, but everyone would go from chess to contacts dictionary. So anything that came with a computer is here. If you downloaded Google Chrome, it's here. If not, it won't be here. Okay, so there's a combination of things that came with a computer and things that you installed. So she installed this one. She has this one ready to install, but she hasn't installed it yet. This one she installed, it's for her mouse. Okay, keep going to all, she installed all of the Microsoft applications. So Excel, OneNote, PowerPoint. So these are the actual applications. Okay, this one she installed herself, or your son installed for you, I believe, or whatever that might be. Okay, so again, some of these are yours, some of these are installed by the computer and some by yourself. But these are all applications, meaning if I want to run any of these, I could come all the way to the applications folder and make it run. So for example, I'm going to turn on her chess game. So I'm going to double click in here and the chess app is going to open up and the chess game is going to be played. It's a little bit harder when you're on Zoom to make things happen, but because so now chess is going to open up. Okay, now I don't really want to play chess, so I'm going to close it again. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to here and quit. Oh, I can't use my shortcuts when I'm okay, I'm just going to cancel and quit this program. But you see, I had to go all the way to applications to open it. Why? Because this is the direct place where this program is, as opposed to most of you have been opening programs by using your dock. She has your dock on the left side. Most of you guys have it on the bottom, but this is your dock. So if Yolanda wants to open an application, she goes over here to open it, right? So if she wants to listen to watch her mail or go to Safari, she'll go here. But notice that all of these applications are also here. So if I go look for mail and I go to the M, there's mail. So this is the real application. This is just a shortcut that points to that application. So that when she wants to open mail, she doesn't have to go to Finder, go to applications, scroll down to look for mail, find mail, and double click mail. No, all she does, she goes to her dock and clicks a single time here on mail. Boom, and mail opens up. Does that make sense, you guys? But this is not the application. This is just a quick access. It's a shortcut to the actual application. Does that make sense, you guys? Give me a big old yes or something like that if you get that. So the shortcut is like what's on your dock. All right. Now, another kind of shortcut you can have is an alias. When a shortcut is on a desktop, it's called an alias. So this, when you make an alias, so I'm going to go back to my Finder, open up the Finder, and she made a bunch of aliases here in a folder called Ask Deanna. She has a folder with questions for me. She made a bunch of aliases of it that if I were to double click, it would always take me to that icon. And you can see it's an alias. Why? Because it has all these little arrows and the kind of files he has is alias, alias, alias. Alias is the Mac words, the old Mac words that they used to use for what most people know as shortcuts, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I don't need any of these aliases because the aliases are just pointing to that. So I'm gonna delete them from her so she doesn't have all this junk here because I'm about to answer that question for her. So she doesn't need this in here anymore. So I've selected all four, right click, move to trash. Yeah, because they're not the application, they were just pointers to the application. As much as if I were to get rid of these here, the application will still exist. Okay, these are if I get rid of this, let's say that books, I'll go over here to books and I'll get rid of it from here. I can right click and remove. I can say options, remove from dock. Boom, her book icon is gone. But guess what? It's just all I got rid of was the alias. If I go back to applications and go to the beat and find her book icons, there it is. So I can now just put it back in there and I'm going to do that. I'm going to just drag it and put it in the exact same spot where it was. And there. Now that's a quick little access. So that's like an alias. And now we can open books again. So in her case, her application is in the wrong place because it's not the application, it's the DMG. It's the installer that normally we would have in the downloads, but she has it out there. See, it's that one. It's the messenger that it's in her downloads. See right there? And I can tell because it's here as its own file. So see, she downloaded this November 20th and then again, May 2023. Now, here's the thing. It's not installed. How do I know it's not installed? I go to applications and I don't find it. There's nothing here that says messenger. She has messages, which is different than messenger. So she downloaded this and she never installed it. It was just left there. Does that make sense? It's a DMG. DMG, remember if you go to the chat, it's equal to package. It means that this is a file waiting. It's an installer waiting to be double clicked in order to install the application. Now, Messenger is just like a chat thing that's part of Facebook. You probably usually use Messenger on the phone, right? Or do you do Facebook on your computer, Yolanda?
I have both Messenger and messages on my iPhone, but
Meaning, the question is, do you want to install it or not, really? Or
actually,
not
I'm not sure because I don't even
Okay.
know the difference between
So here's the thing.
Yes.
I just want to know, but it doesn't really matter. Why? Look, you guys. The reason I'm asking is either way, she should delete these two. Why? This one is from November 2021. When you're talking about applications, something from a whole year, something old. So November 2021 is basically a year old. It's useless. It's old. It's gone. There's new versions coming out every week. So this one for sure should be gotten rid of. Okay. So right click, and these files are big, right? So move to trash. There's no question about that one. How about the next one? May 23, 2022. How many months away are we from May?
2 months. This is the month of July.
It's about, yeah. So it's possible that this is the latest version they have, but it's possible that they already have newer versions. Okay. Now, your choices. 2 months old. Yeah, maybe it's still new enough. I would go ahead and if you want this application, double click and install it. And then this will disappear from there. If you don't want this application, just delete it. Delete all this. And the day you decide you want it, go and download the new one and it'll give you the freshest, newest version. Because something that's 2 months old, depending if it's something, if it's a small company, yeah, it's probably still good. But if it's something like Facebook, they probably have a new version coming out because they fix problems with it like every week. So this is probably already old. If you never meant to install it, then just right click and trash it. If you meant to install it, then either install it and then update it, or just go back to Facebook and download it again and download a fresh one. So basically, you guys, if you have a package file or a DMG file, and it's anything older than a week or two, you probably should go download a new one. It's free. I mean, it's free to download in this case. And this means that it will need to be updated anyway. So I recommend, these are huge files, to just get rid. She had 2 of these. That's 100 megabytes in her computer. That there's no reason to have it sitting there. So once you delete it, and you can take it out of the trash if you don't agree with me, and you move it to the trash, then from the trash, you can go to the trash. If you change your mind, I can open the trash. Say that she goes, no, I really wanted it. You can go back to the trash, select this one, and right click and put it back. Okay, so I'm putting back that one, and so now I'm closing the trash, and there it is. It's back in her downloads. Okay, so it's back until you empty your trash. So the point I'm trying to make about the trash is that I'm going to send it back to the trash again. Empty the trash. Same with this. I'm going to move this one to the trash. So that was an eject. So now that it's in the trash, if you ever decide that you are going to empty your trash, right, then it's gone for sure and forever. But anything that goes into the trash is just like another room in your computer. The trash is holding all the stuff that she put in the class. It's still there. All this stuff is still occupying space in your computer. Imagine the trash can under your desk that's just papers and stuff like that. You can leave it there, and if it doesn't fill up, you can maybe spend a few months before you ever take it to the actual, trash that goes out to the trash truck. Versus the kitchen trash, we kind of empty out relatively quickly because there's food, or you don't want to get bugs. But this kind of situation of the trash is akin to an office trash, which just sits there being full and being occupying space in your computer that you don't want. So if you're done with all the stuff in your computer and you were to empty it, for example, if I hit this word empty, this would disappear. Then for sure her messenger would not be able to be recovered. But if right now I were to recover it, I could just right click and recover it. I recommend you get rid of it. You said you don't even use it on your computer, so leave it in the trash. It's up to you to empty the trash or not. There you go. Now it's all gone. You knew, the only reason I knew it hadn't been set up yet is because it was not on her applications. As opposed to Michelle, I knew Zoom had been set up because she's using Zoom to communicate, right? So clearly it's installed. Anything that you're using is already installed, is working. So anyway, that's what you do with DMGs and with and packages. If you want it, you go to applications and see if it's installed. If it is, you don't need it anymore. If it's not and it's old, get a new one. But if it's new enough, then double click and install it. Okay, so now you're done with that one, and it's gone from everywhere because we didn't install it. Now, if you change your mind and you do want it, just go drag it out from the trash. But I recommend you go and download a new one the day you decide you want Messenger on your computer. Most people don't use it. They just use the Facebook app. You're welcome. Hi, Barbara, how are you? So we're just cleaning out computer Finder files from the downloads and from the desktops and putting things in documents and making folders in documents. That's kind of what we're doing right now. Yes, Sharon?
I was busy trying to transfer my files over. Oops, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, and now my computer is stuck. I went over to Dropbox because it was mentioned here in the class.
That's why I didn't want it to be mentioned. Yes.
And someone put on Dropbox on my computer about 6-7 years ago. I've never used it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
But I looked into Dropbox. I can't seem to find anything. But I went back to my Finder files to transfer over my recents to my documents and nothing goes over, it just goes ding. Does that have anything to do with my Dropbox?
No,
escapade?
no. First of all, there's nothing wrong with Dropbox. When I went, suddenly people might think it's bad. There's nothing wrong. I use Dropbox professionally when I have to send big files to people. There's nothing wrong with Dropbox. It's just that it gets confusing because there's no need for it for transferring files. It's a way to put things online so that other people who are online can access the same files as you. So for that is awesome and it's wonderful. So when you say someone put Dropbox on my computer, if you're not using it, here's the thing. Anything you guys have in your computer that you're not using, that you truly don't need, you can just go to the applications and get rid of. Now be careful because you might think, oh, I'm never using, whatever, and get rid of it and then discover as you go along that you did want it. But say that you have, here's my printer application. Well, if I have that printer application, that's good. But what if this is an old one that I don't use anymore and I actually have a HP and this brother is one that I used 10 years ago, then for goodness sake, get rid of it, right? Get rid of all the stuff you don't need, but be careful with getting rid of stuff you need. And if someone put Dropbox and you've never used it, why have Dropbox? Get rid of it. But if you think you might need it, keep it. Every application you keep, like every shoe you bring into the house, takes up space. Now, if you think someday you might wear that one pair of sandals, go ahead and keep them in there. But if you don't need them, get rid of them. That's kind of the idea, right? Now, Dorothy uses it, but if you don't use it, it's one more complicated way where you might end up losing files because it's like having another place online. And that's, so if you're trying to drag things onto Dropbox and you don't have it active, it might give you that little ding, right? So be careful because if it's not active because you haven't used it for years, then it might just ding at you going, I can't. So the ding means I can't do that for you, right? So
Okay, I wasn't using it from Dropbox. I was just going from my recents file in Finder
oh,
to bring it over to.
okay. So here's
to
another reason
documents,
you might
and
get
the
a ding.
recent file doesn't go over to documents now.
Okay, so here's what's happening. The recents file, remember, is not a place. It's not a place. So if you're not paying attention, so say that the documents, this file that I'm looking at tells me that it's in documents. If I go from recents and try to put it in documents, did you hear that ding? I don't know if you hear it, but my computer just went ding. Maybe you can't hear the sound my computer makes. My computer just went ding. Why do you think it just went ding? You guys think it through. It's right in front of you. This is for everyone to pay attention because this is a great question that Sharon has. Everyone has to understand my answer. So look again. This shot, screenshot 2022, I'm trying to put it in my documents and my computer just went ding, which
Is it
means
in
I can't do it for you. Say that again, Sharon.
Because it's in documents already.
It's already in documents.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I were to try to put it in the desktop, and I'm going to do that, I'm going to go, then if I move it, there it is. It's in the desktop right now. But so if I go to recents, where is this now? It's now in the desktop. I've moved it, right?
Mhm.
But if I try to put it into itself, it's going to go, not going to do that for you because it's already there. So remember, recents works if you want to organize from here in the sense that you're moving where it is, but it always will stay here in recents. It won't leave recents. Why? It's in recents because it's the last file that you open. So it doesn't move from here. You can never empty your recents. The files, you can empty your desktop by putting things into your documents. You can empty your downloads by putting in your documents, but recents will always have as many files as it has because it's just saying, here's the last thing you open. So watch. Let me
Yeah,
go to my documents and let me open one of these files. So right now in recents, the last file I have is called screenshot 2020-706. All right, I'm going to go to my documents and I'm going to open something else. I'm going to open this one, backups, boards, PDF. I'm going to double click. I'm going to open this file. You guys can't see my entire screen, so let me share my entire screen. So this file just opened up. It opened up in PDF and preview. Great. I'm going to close it. Preview. If I go to my recents, Now the latest file I've opened is my backups. And the other one went down one, right? But it hasn't changed where it was. This one is still in documents. This one is still in documents, right?
Oh, okay.
It's all it is. It's now a new one will show up. I'm going to open another file. I'm going to go. So my last file that I watched today at 3:24 was backups. I'm going to go now to my downloads and I'm going to open one of these guys. I'm going to click on enabled non-created application final. I'm going to Del Curry. You guys should know this one by heart because you've all had to use it. I've opened it. That's it. I've opened it. I'm going to close it now. I'm quitting. I go to my recents. There it is. That's the last thing I opened. It hasn't moved. It's just that I've just opened it. That's the only reason it's here. And now the original screenshot is third in line. See, this is just a timeline of what did you open last, but it does not mean that it's moved. It's still in my downloads folder.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
then-
you, if you decide to change, if you want it to be in your desktop and you move it from here to the desktop, good. You moved it to the desktop. Suddenly it appears in my desktop, but in my recents, it's still there. Nothing will disappear from here if you move it around from location. This is on my desktop, whereas before it was in my downloads. Got it? Now, if I were to try to move it from desktop back into my downloads, I will get this interesting message. I'll move it to my downloads and it's going to go, ooh, are you sure you want to remove it from the cloud? Because remember, by putting it in the downloads, downloads is not on the cloud and it will be moved to this Mac, but it won't be in the iCloud available to any other device. So if you move things to your downloads, it's warning you it's not on the cloud. I'll like, yeah, move it. So now it's back in my downloads. But none of that affected that it's the last one that I've opened. I moved it from downloads to desktop, from desktop to documents and back to downloads. And this here, it just occupies the space of the last one that was used. It's got nothing to do with where it lives. It just, the path is showing you where it lives, but that's it. This is the cheat sheet for people who don't remember where their files are to go by time and go, oh, there it is. I need to open that one. I didn't know where I put it. So at least I remember that I opened it a week ago. So you go there and you double click and you open it and who cares where it is? It opens anyway. Because it's a pointer. This is like an alias, like a shortcut to the actual position where that file exists. Okay, so the reasons is just a list, a collection of the memory of when you last opened it. But the file, if you were to click on it, it will open from wherever location it exists in. Okay. Ow, I'm noticing that my, sorry, my hair got stuck in my necklace. All right. So let's keep doing the work. We have to take a break. I've said I've snoozed my break alarm a few times. I just wanted to make sure that that the basic work is beginning. Hopefully, we've had a lot of time while we're talking, and by now your desktop should be as empty as possible. And if anything that you don't want to move is there, you need to talk to me and say, let me share my screen with you. This is why I need this here. This is why I need this there. And I'll talk you through it. And some of them will be a good idea to leave there. Some will be like, no, I'll explain why not. And what's plan B that you can do to get it access quickly. For example, you can put an alias on the desktop if you want, but the actual file should be in your documents and it'll look the same to you. Only the thing that's here on the desktop will have a little arrow but the real thing will be in your documents and that'll let your computer work well. So that's one solution. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Your downloads should have almost everything empty other than files that you don't know what they are, like Michelle, who said, I don't know what this is, or Yolanda, who had a folder that said, questions for Deanna, what is this, right? So I want that kind of thing. I want you guys to be working hard on moving things to your document. Your documents should still be a disaster at this point because you're moving stuff from everywhere and you don't really have it very organized, but at least it's all in the right place. And then we're going to keep focusing on organizing the documents. But right now you're still at the move everything from places they don't belong. Okay. If there's no overt, like urgent question right now, we will go on our break. Okay, going one, going twice. No questions. So then let's go ahead and 15 minutes from now, it's 3:30. So we will be back by 3:45. Oh, yes.
Well, I'm sorry, it's Barbara.
No.
When we come back, today I have trouble on the left side in my email. when I want to make a new folder, I
Mhm.
just can't seem to get where I need to be. Are
Okay,
you-
I can help you a little bit later. I'm gonna be talking with you, next week, we start with macOS level 2. If you're signed into it, and that's when I talk about mail. But if you need
Okay.
urgent help right
I can-
now,
I
after
can
class,
wait.
I can help you a little bit after class, but otherwise.
Thank you.
right-
I've
okay.
been fighting vertigo. I was sitting in my car for 2 hours. I just didn't feel like I could drive home yet.
Oh,
I've been
goodness,
fighting this
no.
for years, and every once in a while I have these bouts.
I've had vertigo and it comes in bouts and it's horrible. And I'm so sorry that you're
Uh-huh.
having it right now.
It's been 20, going on over 20 years I've had it.
Yeah, you know,
And
I
being
knock
tested.
on wood, but I've had times of my life where I've had it for months on end and then it goes away and it hasn't come back in a few years, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know
You
what
don't know,
gets rid of
you
it.
know why you get it?
No, they even did, studies of my head and I was
Yeah,
just
and the
no
inner,
idea.
inner ear and all that.
Yeah, they didn't know. Anyway, it's horrible. It feels horrible. I don't know what to say. So at the end of class, I can help you a little bit if you need the answer now, or yeah, I'm gonna check now who signed up for next week so that you guys can check and see if you're in the next class.
I should be in it.
All right. Okay. So let's take a break. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. All right. See you at 2:45. All right, we have one more minute to go. Just checking in on you guys. In case you're needing to hear me call you over. But yeah. Mm. Okay. I want to share with you guys the sign up for people who are in my level 2, Mac level 2 class. So if you see your name here, then you are in it. If you do not see your name here, then you want to take the class, you should register.
What's the CRN number?
82 here, put it in the chat, 82635. CRN 82635. Intro to Mac OS X level 2. So I put it in the chat as well. And then here's the people who are already in it. So Yolanda's in it. Michelle. Julie is there. I'm looking at the people who are here. Barbara Walsh. Dorothy. So the only one here who isn't here right now is you, Sharon. And then there's some
Okay.
other people in it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And what this is going to start at 9:30 or something? What are the
No.
times on OS 2?
It's the same 1:30 to
Okay.
4:15 or what time does this one end? 5:05, I think. I need
Yeah,
to
but
look.
this was a shortened semester though.
Yeah. But it's meaning it continues as just like the one that we're taking right now, which is from 1:30 to 5:05 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
But next Wednesday is still this class, but by next Friday. Okay.
Also, I'm
Sorry, not next
surprised-
Friday, next Monday, sorry.
I tried using my time machine and it's supposedly backed up okay. And now I can't eject it because it's not shown in my Finder sidebar.
It's not showing in your Finder
No.
sidebar? Then it must
And
be
I-
ejected. So if you have it plugged in, but it's not in your sidebar, it means you ejected it. You just
But
forgot
is
to
it
unplug it.
possible that it's in Dropbox again? Because when I first plugged it in, it says,
No,
do you
no,
want to back this up in Dropbox? And I didn't answer anything because I was confused. And then it just started backing up. So is it
No.
possible that it's backing up in Dropbox somehow?
No. What it's asking is, do you want to drop back up into your time machine, the stuff that's in Dropbox? So it's completely, you're seeing it completely the opposite way of how it is. Time machine doesn't move into anything. It looks at what you want to say, what you want to back up. So it's probably asking you if you wanted to back up your Dropbox. But no, for the most part, I don't think otherwise it doesn't back up stuff that's on other places like Dropbox. It only backs up.
So
what's on your
because it's
computer.
not shown in my Finder sidebar, you're sure that I could just rip out the connection and be safe?
What happens is that if you're not seeing it in the Finder under locations, it means that you've already ejected it. You tried it once, it worked, but now the cable is still connected. You need to unplug it.
Okay,
The
but I
moment
didn't try to eject it. I
Never,
haven't done anything to it. No.
well then unplug it and plug it in again, and then it should pop up into your Finder. Are you sure that you, okay, wait, before, one more thing before I tell you that. Make sure that here the locations is open. If your locations is collapsed, you wouldn't see it. You'd have to make sure that you open your locations, and this is where you should see your time machine. If it's
Okay, I
not
have-
there,
I
then-
have locations. It shows Sharon's Mac and Macintosh HD.
okay, does it say anything about whatever your time machine is called?
No,
No. Then unplug your time machine, because that means it's not mounted is what it's called. and then plug it in again, and then it should appear right here. Okay, and when it appears right there, then it'll be working. Because if you have it connected but not mounted, even if it's plugged in, it's not doing its job, right? So you need to see it under locations. That's important. All right, and okay, so I'm looking at some questions. Oh, Yolanda, thank you.
Diane, is that an
And then Sharon,
external?
what's that?
Is that an external time machine she's talking about? Because
Yeah, time machines are always external. Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
my time machine is in my hard drive.
You should not have a time machine in your hard drive, so I don't know what you're talking about. You can't. Okay, you want to share your screen to show me? Time machines are always
Oh,
external.
maybe it's not. You want me to share my screen?
Let me stop my share, yeah.
Where is it?
You need to turn the sound. It's not bad. Your reverb isn't really bad, so it's okay. But you're doing reverb because you have sound on both, but it's not bad. so
No,
leave it.
I've got it turned off on my laptop, but it's still.
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, it's not turned off. Its sound is off, but not disconnected, which is different, but never mind. It isn't
bet.
bad. You're having a very little reverb, so go ahead,
Okay,
share your screen.
I hit share screen, I'll share. It's up here on the right.
So the fact that you have an icon for it, see, it's that green one that
Yeah.
has a little backwards. That is an external hard drive.
Oh, it must,
Open a Finder window. So you have 3 hard drives connected to your computer from what your desktop
Right,
is showing. Click
yes.
on your Finder window, and they're under location, so make it a little bit bigger or scroll up. So see under your locations, there you have your 3 hard drives. You have your
Yeah.
computer, then you
Okay.
have backup catalog, time machine, and main backup. So you have 3 external hard drives connected to your computer. Which, by the
Okay.
way, so guys, wait, let me just use this to teach everyone. See under locations, she has 4 names. Can you see she has Barb? Can you point with your mouse to it so people see what I'm talking about? Those 4 things, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are 4 hard drives. The top one, Barbara's iMac, is internal. It's the thing that's in her computer. And the other 3 are external. If means that they're plugged in. She has 3 things plugged into her computer. If you look at her desktop now, can you go show your desktop? Can you go all the way to the top with your mouse? There you can see those, the 2 yellow icons at the top. There's 4 icons on the top. Those are all her hard drives. The 2 yellow ones are 2 external hard drives where she puts in other stuff that doesn't fit in her computer. The green one is her time machine. And then the gray one, that's her internal hard drive. So that's like what a hard drive looks like inside your computer. So those are her 4 hard drives. The internal one is what comes with your computer. The 2 yellow ones are plugged in and the green one is plugged in, but the green one is set up as a time machine. So she doesn't put things on it. It automatically checks in and backs up her stuff. But the 2 yellow ones, she puts stuff in herself as extra stuff that doesn't go into her computer. Okay, does that
Diane,
make
I have
sense, you guys?
another question on that. Okay, is it a time machine that it came with the computer and I'm having it run and I put plugged in an external hard drive for it to do all the work on? But
Yeah, so the software comes with the computer. So
Right,
software
okay, I
is just an
understand.
application that comes with a computer, period.
The
You plug in
information-
an external hard drive, and that external hard drive, you say, okay, please use this external hard drive as a time machine. So then the software starts backing things up onto that external hard drive. that
got
you plugged in.
it.
All right,
Thanks.
yeah. I know sometimes this technical stuff is like, why, how come, how complicated? You just want to make it work. Well, making it work is what I'm teaching you. When you want to know a little bit more about what's happening, it starts sounding like it's complicated, technical. And in the end, all you need to do is know how to make it work. And how to make it work is leave it plugged in and it's doing its job. Now, if you don't see, some of you guys do not see the icons on the desktop, okay? That's a choice to see the icons on the desktop or not that you can make. You will always see them though on the Finder under locations. So that's why I asked Sharon, do you not see under locations your icon for your time machine? And she said, no, then that means that it's not mounted. It could be connected, but not mounted. Don't eject anything, Barb. But
Oh,
can
I'm
you-
not.
But can you go to one of your hard drives there on your Finder? Can you go to one of them?
Yeah.
And right click on them?
Oh, you want me to go over here?
Either way, there or on the desktop, right click. See right there, it says the second choice would be eject, right? I don't want her to eject, so don't choose it. But if you do that, even if by mistake, right, and you eject it, then you will stop. I don't want you to do that, so move away from that.
I
Like, move
won't.
your mouse out of the way. But if she does do that, then the icon will disappear, the location will disappear. But her computer will still have a cable plugged into it. And you might go, well, it's plugged in. Yes, but once you eject it, it's not available to you. At that point, you need to unplug it and plug it in again, and then it'll pop in again already, and I'll explore it to keep working, okay? So Sharon, did you unplug yours and plug it in again?
Yes, I did.
And does it show up now under your locations?
No, I just unplugged it.
Okay,
I
so-
wanted this,
plug it in again and let's see if it shows up under your locations, just like Barbara's is, because that's what we need. Now, it might or not show up on your desktop. That's a choice you make when you want to, how you want to view your desktop. So it might not show up on your desktop. On newer computers set up the newer way, it doesn't. People want a less cluttered desktop, but you can tell it to show up.
okay, well, it shows that my last backup was today. So I think I'll just forget about it because then I'll worry about ejecting it again.
No, you don't need to ever eject it unless you take your computer with you to go to, someone's house with it or something. Otherwise, just leave it connected. And there's no need to, you don't need to eject it every now and then. Only eject it when you are ready to leave it behind while you take your computer somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I do want it off because I use it on the, I use it on the,
On the couch or something like that. Yeah.
it shows Time Machine is under locations. How do I
Perfect.
safely remove it?
When you are ready to disconnect it, go to that name, right click and say eject.
Okay, I went to
Go to the
Time
name.
Machine and I right clicked and it just shows an X. Should I just click on the X?
No, I wish you could share your screen. So you've gone to the locations on the sidebar. Can you go to
Yes,
the
and it shows
sidebar?
It shows
Barbara?
Time Machine is
Oh, you're
working.
Oh,
talking to me?
Yeah,
Okay,
Barb, can you go to
sidebar.
your sidebar? Right click on any of those three that you have there. Right click on your time machine. Yeah, right click. This is what you should be seeing. You should see open, show, eject. Is this that she's showing not what you're seeing, Sharon?
No. What I'm, I'm going back. What I'm seeing is just Time Machine written out and then the circles going around and
Oh,
around.
well, that's because it's backing up. You probably had it, since you had it on disconnected, it is backing up, but you,
Okay, now it's stopped.
okay.
Now there's a little arrow that points up. Should I click on that?
No, click away again and, oh God, you guys, I don't know, it's hard to help when I can't see. There, you
Yeah.
mean this little arrow? Barb, can you put your mouse next to that little arrow that's on the right, like move to the right a little bit? Is that where she's pointing? Is that where you're seeing an arrow?
It looks like the one that's under main backup, the one just below it.
Like,
There's a little arrow and a little dash underneath it.
yes, that is also to that button, the arrow with a little dash under it, that also is, if you click on that, that also ejects your computer. So that your, not your computer, your hard drive. So if you click on that, you eject it.
Okay,
If
I
it's
just-
if it's in the middle of doing a backup, it might not want to eject. It might wait until it's done with its backup before it ejects.
okay, well,
okay.
but the little, the circle isn't going. It's just stopped. And it backed up completely, I guess, at 10 o'clock.
Okay,
this
so
morning.
then you click on that little guy, and then when the name disappears, you unplug it.
Back up. Now I clicked with 2 fingers and it, oh, here it says eject Time Machine. So I'll just click
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, right
Thank you.
click
Thank
is
you
the
very
same
much.
as, right click is the same as click with 2 fingers. And now it ejects, and now you can unplug it. Now, for people like Sharon who uses their computer on the couch, I recommend, where do you put your computer at night to charge? Do you have a little
It's-
desk, a
everything's on
table?
the Couch. My whole office is the couch.
You
That's
leave
it.
it on the couch? Okay.
Yes.
Because a lot of people put it on a little tape. And the reason I'm asking and now is different is because sometimes computers heat up when they're on the couch. Does yours not heat up?
Yeah, you need
It
to put it on
probably
the
does, but I have a little tiny, little tiny glass table that it's.
Okay, that's good. Because if you're on, like, on the couch itself, that can plug up the holes that the computer needs to breathe. Leather or plush couches, whatever, and then it can overheat. So yes, if you have a little glass table, that's what I mean by a little table on which to have it. So if that's where you plug in your computer for power, then that's where you should have your time machine, and then just plug it in every now and then to get caught up. Okay?
Thank you. But I've
You're
been, just
welcome.
I panic when I use this time machine because I know if you reject it, if you remove it improperly, it causes problems. So
Just if the name is not there, it's been ejected. So you can unplug it. If the name is there, you need to two fingers down, right click eject, and then unplug it. It's just that.
thank you.
And if you just sit there and leave it on, then that's then that's fine. But if it's off, then just make sure not to pull it when the name is showing. That's the main thing. All right. Cool. Thank you, Barb, for showing that so that we could work
question?
through Sharon's stuff. Yes.
I'm getting to hopefully go to Tennessee. And I'm gonna take my MacBook Pro. And I don't have a time machine running on it or an external hard drive for it. Should I get another little external hard drive and start time machine on it?
Yeah, so guys, so just so I explained, she's got 2 computers going and she's about to go on a trip to visit family. So she wants to take one of them, but her time machines only back up 1 computer at a time, right? So she has a time machine set up on her desktop, so to say, the one that stays at home. So the question is, should she make another backup for her laptop? Yes, if you have stuff in there that's only there, I would recommend a time machine, but what do you have stuff that's very different from what's in your other one? It's really hard to have 2 computers and not get confused on what's where, unless they are duplicates of each other, that's different. But what do you have on this one?
I'm gonna transfer my bills and stuff. I'm gonna make a copy and put it on my laptop. But like my external hard drives mostly have, just all the stuff.
Yeah, not your external hard drives. Your external hard drives, I'm concerned that if you don't have backups for them, then you might be in trouble if one of them dies. Are your 2 external hard drives, does one back up the other, or are they 2 separate ones?
Well, they don't automatically.
Can you share your screen again so I can tell people what I'm asking? So that you can follow through. Because some of you guys have a very, very full computer. Hi, Irma, again, thanks. So if you notice here, remember that I mentioned that she has 4 drives. One is her internal drive, her Macintosh hard drive. It's called Babra's iMac. That's the one that you buy with the computer. Then she has a time machine. That's the one that's backing up what's on her computer. So in a way, the time machine is backing up Barbara's iMac. Does that make sense? If you look, can you see her name, the names of her drives there? But then she has 2 more. She has a Barb's catalog and a main backup. Those are 2 external hard drives. If you can see, they're the 2 that are yellow. You can see them on her desktop there too. Those 2 yellow ones are individual stuff. One says it's a 4 terabyte, and then the other one's a 2 terabyte one. Here's the problem with those 2. There's no problem per se, other than that hard drives die. So she says she has most of her stuff on those. And I know she has photos and stuff like that. Guess what? What if her computer dies right now? Her time machine will help her set up her computer again. Life is good. What if her Barb's catalog dies? Or what if her main backup dies?
Well, they have copies of both.
Where?
Well, this main backup was from school and I didn't change the name on it. So I put photos in that, and then the same photos I put in that I think I put in this one.
Mm. And you just drag them over as a copy.
Yeah, I copy them over.
So, and again, this conversation really is a Mac level 2 conversation, which is about backups, but can you guys see what might be a problem in that? It's
Two different,
good.
two different amounts of,
Well, the main
storage?
problem, by the way, the main problem with that is that if you decide to work on an image now that you have in the main backup, now it's different than the one that you have in the Barb's catalog. So now every time you do something to one of those, you need to drag it and copy it again into the other one so that they stay equal. Guys, drives die. They die from one day to the next. One day you wake up and it's just not responding anymore. That's what drives do. And if you're lucky, you know, some people drive their car 20 years. Some people have a car that goes bad in 5 years. Drives go bad in 3 months or in 6 years. We don't know. So by having these separate, then I'm assuming that in Barb's catalog, you have other stuff too that maybe is not in your main backup only because it's bigger. Now, if these were identical to each other, what you would do is you would have a thing called a clone, which is the software does not come with a Mac, but you can buy a cloning software where what you have is these 2 extra ones. One has all her photos and all the stuff she puts in it. And the second one is just a clone to the first one so that it mirrors it. So if one of those 2 die, the other one has it. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mhm.
That's the goal. If you're going to have one external hard drive with important stuff, like in her case, photos, you want to have another one backing it up so that it's the equivalent of your computer and the time machine. One is a backup of the other. So the 2 hard drives should be cloning. And there's a lot of software for cloning. Again, this is Mac level 2 class. These classes are kind of merging because of your questions. But then you need to buy software to clone. And what that kind of software is, it just automatically, it's automatic. You set it up the same way and you tell it, just like the time machine, you say, please clone this machine onto that one. And at night, whatever you tell it to do it once a day, once a week, once a month, ideally once a day, it just goes in and it checks and it copies. And then you have only one that you use and the other one copies itself. And that's the safest way to have 2 external hard drives. But if you have to remember to copy things on your own, then you have some things on one, some things on the other, and it starts becoming really confusing. So let's talk more about this in the next class. But what I want to see right now, which is truly about today's class, let's go see your desktop, your documents, and your downloads, because that's what we're trying to organize now. So can you go click on your desktop in the Finder? I see that you have very few items on your desktop, but go in Finder. Yeah, like that window that you're showing me your locations. Yeah, no, the same window that you've got open. No, don't. Yeah, just go there and click on the word. No. Why did you
Oh,
close
I'm
it?
sorry, you're talking to me, aren't you?
Yes, you're the one who's sharing your screen.
Okay,
So now go and choose your desktop. There on the sidebar, go down to the word desktop. It's on your cloud. So yeah, there it
There
is,
it
right there. All right.
um,
So wait a second.
okay,
Let me just first tell people what to look at and then you can ask your questions. So here's the thing. She's showing us her desktop, which is you can see, and this is the main point I wanted to say. Her desktop shows everything that she has on her desktop except for her hard drives. See how the yellow, green, and aren't showing up. Although you do see them on her desktop, they're not showing up because hard drives only show up under locations, okay? Does that make sense what I'm saying? If you look at her actual desktop, you see on top the 2 yellow things, a green one and a white. Can you point to what I'm talking about? There's her mouse. Those 4 do not show up in a Finder under desktop. All that shows up is what she has underneath, those 4 documents and the folders, the dishwasher. You see that? There's Photoshop folder. You see that? Can you point to one of those? So say the first file is called to get
let's
Paramount.
Paramount.
And then if you look on the left side, then you have
This
the
one.
to get Paramount. Okay. Yeah. Then if you look at her Finder, there it is, the to get Paramount. And then you see Stream Paramount, and you look in the Finder there, it says Stream Paramount. So everything she has on her desktop here that you're seeing is also showing up in the Finder. We agree upon that? Right.
I just
Now.
haven't moved them yet.
No, that's fine. So that's good. Those are little files. She needs to move them or not. That's up to her. Now she has 3 folders. So right now it looks like she only, go back to the Finder window, please, with your mouse. It looks like she has 8 items here on her desktop, which is not bad. Okay, great. But we have no idea how big her folders are. So can you twirl open, that Bruce Photoshop down there and expand it? And so there's now 17 items in the bottom. And now expand that other folder. There we go. So now suddenly under Bruce Photoshop, she's added a bunch of files. And on top of that, you guys don't know, but these extensions, a lot of these are, raw files, DNGs, CR2s. This folder is big. This folder is big. It should not be on her desktop.
Well,
Okay,
it won't be when my class is over.
I know, but let me explain that it doesn't matter if the class is over or not. I'm trying to explain why it shouldn't be on the desktop and what you can do to make it just as easily available. First of all, I know that the word should is kind of loaded. Should, not should. Well, I'll explain why. Your computer, when it's full, it starts to falter. If we go down to the status of our computer, see very at the bottom where it says 20 items, 140 gigabytes available. That's not much space, right? If you want to see truly how big your computer is, how big your hard drive is, can you go up to your Apple icon on the very top left? Everyone do this. Go to your Apple icon, click on it and say about this Mac. And it'll tell you here what software, which she's got, version, all of that. And then processor, graphics, whatever. It just tells you a bunch of stuff about your computer. I want you to move over to the choice of storage. See, it's overview displays storage. So she has 1 terabyte of storage. See Macintosh hard drive, 1 storage,
I have some free
One terabyte.
slots
No, I'm not talking about
for,
slots.
wait.
Shh.
Okay,
Please let me finish this whole explanation. I'm not making you right or wrong. I'm trying to explain for people to know how to look at these numbers, and then you make your choices. You can add more, take away more. But here's what matters. On her computer, her physical computer, she has 880 gigabytes free available of 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte is equivalent to 1,000 gigabytes, okay? So most of her computer is empty, yeah? Does that make sense? Most of her computer is empty. Y'all agree with that?
yes,
Now, look at, click on, move this out of the way a little bit so you can still see the other window, yeah, okay. And now, go back to the Finder window. Where, yeah, you can just click on it and it shows up. The Finder window is this window. Now, where Bruce Photoshop, click again and look at the status where it says 20 items, 140 gigs available. Where does it say 140 gigs available on what?
whatever drive that's on, which would be this computer.
No, this is the
Really?
point I'm trying to make. Look at the bottom and read
The
it.
iCloud.
Go
In
down.
the iCloud. Her stuff is in the iCloud and she only has 140 gigs available on the iCloud, and she has all these things on the iCloud. So in a way, it's her iCloud that's run out of space before her computer. Does that make sense?
So these aren't really in my computer?
No, they are, look at the bottom. It says Bruce Photoshop in your desktop that's in your iCloud. That doesn't mean they're not on your computer. They are on your computer too. I'm trying to explain, but they're also on your iCloud. Your computer has a lot of space. Life is good. If anything, what's
new
going to run out
computer.
of, yeah, if anything, anything that's going to run out of space is your iCloud, but you're fine still, because if you have 400 gigabyte available, that means that you probably are buying the 200 gigabyte space for $2.99 a month. And so you still have a lot of space. But I'm just trying to show people the difference between computer space and cloud space, because at some point if your computer says it's getting full, just know how to read these things. That's all. All right. So why would you want to leave things on the desktop versus the documents? Is because on your computer needs to be able to use the desktop space for operating correctly. Now, does it look like she needs space on her desktop, on her computer? Does it look like she has a lot of space? Yeah, I mean, she has like 880, almost 900 available out of 1,000. Like she said, it's a new computer, right? All her stuff is stuffed into those yellow external hard drives. So should she worry? Not really. I mean, really, not really, because she right now has a lot of space. But guess what? Over the year or 2 or 3, her desktop is she keeps using her desktop, that you start having a computer that doesn't work. So why? Because from the very beginning, you didn't learn the right habits. You know what I'm trying to say? She's not in trouble right now. She has a lot of stuff, a lot of space on her computer, but there's really no reason for this to be on her desktop. It should be in her documents. And if you need it to be easily accessible, put an alias on the desktop. So this might be kind of like painful for you, but it'll look exactly the same for you to access these if they are on the documents than on the desktop, but you will learn correct ways of working, and it'll be no different than it is now. Head over to Bruce Photoshop for a second. And if you trust me, I've been teaching you for many years. If you trust me, Barb, grab that folder and put it in documents. And I'll show you how to fix that. So move to documents. There we go. Perfect. Now she has a lot of stuff in her documents, right? So it might be like, oh, I didn't want to move it in here. Well,
Oh yeah, documents. Ta-da, here.
yeah. Now, with all the stuff that she has in here, she could do even a better job. She could drag this and put it into school. I'm assuming school is part of these classes, and maybe she has a place where she puts all her Photoshop stuff or something like that. I don't know. But if you just want to leave it, I mean, I would venture to say that instead of having all these folders, you should have, I'm seeing their school, I'm seeing their photography stuff, I'm seeing their Bruce Photoshop. There's another folder on your desktop. I would recommend making one big folder that holds all these things, right? You have the Lightroom class, there you have, all things Apple, then you have the Mac class. I would recommend one folder called classes and put all of these folders together. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes,
Just
please.
make one class. That said, before she does that or after she does that, it doesn't matter. I told her, I promised her that she would have a quick icon on her desktop to get to Bruce's photo class stuff, right? Can you go ahead and close this, the Mac and not that one, the one on the right, the one that
This
has
one?
all the storage space. Yeah, close that one. So we don't need that anymore. So see how now if you look at her desktop, the link to Bruce's Photoshop is not there anymore on her desktop, because I told her to move it to the documents, right?
Right.
And it was like, oh, it was so easy to see it on the desktop. But I told her, yeah, but that's not a good idea. So let me show you how she can now put an alias out there. So it looks exactly the same, but it doesn't occupy the physical space. It's just going to be a pointer to the stuff.
Cool.
So go to the folder called Bruce Photoshop. Up at the top, right click on the folder.
You want me to close it or leave it
Yeah,
open?
no, open or close, doesn't matter. Right click. And go scroll down until you see make alias. Down, 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 2 more, 3 more there, make alias. Yeah, click on make alias. Cool. So that alias, what you just made is a pointer. Now grab that Bruce Photoshop alias and drag it onto your desktop. Cool. So now you can leave it in the same place you had it before, but put it like kind of on the edge the way you had it before. It doesn't matter. And now it looks identical as how it used to look before. but the stuff is now in the right place. Let me show you. Close this Finder window. Okay, now you went to get to Bruce's stuff before. What you did is you double clicked on that folder and it took you to the stuff that was on the desktop. Now go double click on that alias.
Where is it?
It's
Bruce,
the
right
second
here?
one. Yep.
One click.
Yeah, double click to open it. There you are. You're in Bruce Photoshop. There's all the same files as before, but look at the left side. Where are these now? They are in the documents folder. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
They're in the
Then
right place.
how did we get to alias? I didn't see that.
I'll show it again and again. She has a ton of
Creative.
different ones. So if you really, really, really want your stuff to be on the desktop, if that's why you left it on the desktop, this is the way to go. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Now.
Let me click on this real quick.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that's the
And
summer.
what you have in there, and you have summer
Right.
class schedule. Why don't you put all of your different classes that you have here?
I
under school?
just haven't done it yet. I
Oh, but
actually
here,
have,
but
I have it that way online in my folders. I've got like
All right,
Bruce and
so,
Bruce videos. I've got Diana and Diana.
okay, so let's do this. Make this window a little bit bigger. Okay, and by the way, she's looking at things instead of in list view, she's looking at them in columns view, which it's interesting because if you click on a folder here in list view, so click on school, go back to the bottom to the left and click on school. When you click on this folder in the columns view, when you have a folder, then in the second column, you see how it says summer 2 at the very top of it? That's what's inside that folder. Now click in this folder. And what's inside that folder is those two files. So it all kind of opens up that way. So summer schedule 2 and class schedule are inside of the folder called summer 2. And summer 2 is inside of the folder called school. Yeah. Now let's go and click again on the word documents and then change that list to view. Go to the word documents on the far left.
Here under Mac.
Yeah, but hold
class,
on. Go back to documents.
Okay.
Click on
Over
document.
here.
Just click on it. Okay. Now go up to the change the view to list view so I can show the difference between list view. Go up to list view instead of column view. Okay. And now go ahead and go to name so that things appear in alphabetical order. Go click on the word name. Yeah. So now if you see, go scroll all the way to S for school. So that's the same folder we were looking at before. You can expand it. Yeah, click on that little arrow and then under school, see how there's that summer 2? And then you can expand that and there's the summer 2 class schedule. So you see how it's exactly the same idea, only it kind of shows, can you point with your mouse to the word school so people see where you see it?
Oh,
It's-
here.
Yeah, so those two files are inside of summer 2 and summer 2 is inside of school. Can you see that it's showing the same thing only in two different formats? One shows it to you in 3 columns and one shows it to you by expanding the little arrow. Give me a yes if you see like that makes sense, or if you're confused and you don't know what I'm showing, give me a no. I'm showing her exact same folder school with one folder inside and 2 things in 2 different views. Okay, so if you want, I can keep explaining this, but if you all say yes, then you got it. But if someone says not too clear about it, give me a no, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. Okay, I'm seeing a few yeses. Irma, Michelle, how's it working for you? Do you need a little bit more explanation? Michelle, okay. So Barbara, can you select the word school? Yeah, so this is a folder which is holding a folder called summer 2. Can you go and click on summer 2 now? Oh, and by the way, wait, click on school again. Look at the path bar, you guys. Can you point to the path bar? School is inside of documents, which is in her cloud drive. Now, click on the folder called summer 2. That one is inside of school. And if you look at the path bar, summer 2 is inside of school, school inside of documents. Now, click on the first file, 2022 summer schedule. Again, if you look at the path bar, 2022 summer schedule is inside, can you follow with my mouse what I'm saying? That file is inside of the folder called Summer 2, which is inside of school, which is inside of documents, right? So it's kind of like that is the address
That's
to her thing. Now, if you want to see this exact same folder in column mode, go click on the word school again, please.
Here.
Click on the word school and now change the view to column view. We're going to see exactly the same thing in a different view. Now she's selecting the word school. And it is down there. It's already selected. Yep.
Yeah.
Inside of school, there's an arrow. See to the right, there's that little arrow. It's basically pointing to that 2022 summer school, which is inside of it. And when she clicks on that, it's pointing to those two files that are inside of it. If you click on that top one, click on the top one, 2022 summer school. If you look at the path in the bottom, the path is identical. 2022 summer schedule is inside of 2022 summer 2, which is inside of school, which is inside of documents. So the path is exactly the same. It's just a different way of showing you. And when you have this view, you also see inside, when you click on one file, you see a little preview of the file. Okay, so what we're seeing is exactly the same
They're both the same.
list
both
view or
files.
column view. Okay, yeah, that's all that this is. It's
Thank you.
exactly the same. It's just a different view of exactly the same setup in two different ways. Cool, got it.
I've
glad.
got a bunch of stuff in here. in
Yeah.
here, And then
Yeah.
I've got.
Now
a
here's the
bunch-
thing. Now here's the
that-
thing.
You went, I go into the city college in the
Mhm.
pipeline for a bunch of the
Yeah.
the directions. So I
So
have
do
that.
me, so
mapped
do me a favor. Do me a favor. Since this is all school, and this is what I mean by organizing your desktop. Can you grab this folder that's called Mac Class and drop it inside of the good old big school? Drop, let go. Now go grab the one that says Lightroom Class or Mac How To and drop it inside of school. Yep. Now go and grab, I see
I will.
Lightroom Class and drop it inside of school. So see how we're cleaning up her stuff? Now go up and I see Bruce Photoshop at the very top. Kind of at the B, and drop it inside of school. Now go all the way to the B again and it says Bruce Photoshop 4 and drop it in. See how we're cleaning it up? I don't know how many more of these are school stuff, all things Apple. I don't know if that's school, but could be computer info. Again, I don't know if these are school stuff or is this just other stuff, then don't.
Computer info. That's all.
Yeah, so I'm looking at, I don't know if photography stuff is school stuff or not. It's up to you. But does that make sense, you guys? Down there it says testing for class. I don't know what that is. If it's anything, go click on that folder that says testing for class. Looks like it says put in documents. This is probably something you did with me as in testing. You don't need it anymore. Right click, delete it. Meaning this was probably one of the things we did in class as an example. So you can just, you're done, move it to trash. It's one less thing you don't need kind of thing. So now go click on the folder called school. And all of the different classes that she's taking, the information is all together. Does that make sense? Isn't it much cleaner? Now, remember that the Bruce Photoshop is the one that we made an alias and we had put it out there. Now we have it in here. It doesn't matter. The alias knows where it is. It still follows. So if you double click on that alias, it'll work.
Oh, over here.
Over there on the desktop, it says Bruce Photoshop alias. It knows that you moved it over. See, it still finds it. It doesn't matter. You moved it over into another folder, but there it is. There's your files. Does that make sense, you guys? It's
Yeah.
just a way to clean up her inner folder. Close this Finder window for a second. So we have only one left. Now, look, now for the most part, she already has a lot of her stuff in folders. She doesn't have any loose things. So now you can look at these and decide if there's any of these that need to be collected, like maybe not, maybe this is it, right? But maybe you have patterns for sewing and maybe you have patterns for quilting and patterns for face masks. Maybe you have 3 folders like that. We'll put them all inside one thing that says sewing, right? I don't know, I'm just inventing. Or maybe you have one thing with bills, one thing with taxes, one folder with invoices. Maybe you're still working in invoicing, put them all under one folder called finances, right? So right now, she is up to you. I'm going to let you keep, doing your, but I'm seeing here manuals, and I'm seeing computer info and all things Apple. And then I see documents from Barbara's Mac Mini, documents for the MacBook Pro. All that seems to me that are all folders that could be one folder called computer info, for example. That she does have their folder called computer info. Look at the fourth. Can you go click on computer info? Yeah. So how about we put documents for Barbara's Mac Mini into computer info and documents for MacBook Pro into computer info? You know what I mean? Yeah. Drop it in there. Oh, looks like it didn't. Yeah, there. Let go. Okay. And now go documents MacBook Pro and put it in there. And then I let go. And then I think I had seen another one that that made sense. I don't know. All things Apple. Can go into computer info.
That's
Right.
just,
Or if it's different. Okay.
yeah.
All right. But to see what I mean, so start finding things that you can, there's 2 harmonica files, and then there's a folder called harmonica. So now you can, yeah. And when you go into computer info, maybe all the other stuff in there is stuff that can be put into a different folder or not.
This can go up in there.
Like the harmonica, happy birthday, and harmonica Hosanna can go.
If these
drop
are the
into harmonica.
songs, they should be in that, in here.
Yeah. So see how we slowly clean it up? All right, so now, good. Now go into your downloads. It's up to, Mhm. And here I see 22 items, but you also have folders. So this is one that you need to tackle next and decide which of these you're
Yeah.
going to copy. But one thing I want to show you, go down a bit with your mouse, and it says Photoshop CC KBSC. Go put your mouse inside of the files and go down, down, down. Move your
File.
mouse in, move your
Over
mouse
here.
in, yeah. And now you see how you have Photoshop
have a bunch of
KCSV, you have
copies
copy
here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the exact same thing downloaded again and again and again and again.
Yeah,
Right?
it
So
is.
just leave one, the original one, and just delete all the rest.
I've
Down
got one
there,
up here too.
yeah, there's another one. So right click and delete all the copies, and then decide where the one that you want should go.
See, there should
Or
be. an
down there you
original.
have Photoshop Week 2 and Photoshop 2.2. That's 2 downloads of the same thing. Well, maybe not, because the sizes are different and they're from 2 different dates. So that I'm not sure. Oh, they have a different name too. One is Week 2 with no space. One is Week space 2. So those look like they're 2 different things. Photoshop overview. So if these are files that you need, fine. If these are
Yeah,
files
what
that you don't need
are.
anymore, they're from April and you're not using them, get rid of them.
Oh, that's a cheat sheet.
Yeah, so that's a cheat sheet. Where should it go? In your Photoshop class files, probably, right? So put it in your documents, and then in your documents, drag it into your Photoshop class files. Does that make sense, you guys? She has the same file 3, 4 times. So please, and thank you so much, Barb, for letting us work on. I'm just trying to show you guys how you should work on yours, but not because it's anything good or bad
That's
to have
weird.
it this way. This is just what happens.
1,
Yeah.
8.
Can you show us again how to create a file?
Yeah, hold on. The thing is that I want to stop her for a minute here before you keep going. Or yeah, there she's doing it. She's grabbing a bunch and she's keeping one. The ways to create a file. This is now while she's doing that in answer to Sharon's question. These are not created. These are downloaded in her downloads folder. I'm just saying, and that's how you create a file on your computer. Downloaded it, so to say. So it's not that you're creating it, but you're bringing it from the internet into your computer. So it becomes created into your computer. So this is where you have a lot of the junk, where you download stuff you didn't even know you added. You download it 4 or 5 times and you didn't know where it was. So you keep downloading it. And once you go check your downloads, you go, oh, that's where it was. So that's one way to create files. In reality, you're not creating them, you're downloading them, but still they are appearing in your computer, right? So that's the way a lot of people end up having files. The other way to create files is if you make them yourself. If you open a Word document or a Pages document and you write something, you create a chocolate chip recipe, for example. Then you've made a file. So you created it yourself. Or you open Photoshop and you put in a nice sky behind the beach that had a boring sky. You've created a new file. So that's, you create an
So I'm
Excel
talking about
file.
creating a folder to put these files in.
Oh, okay, you said create a file, not a folder.
Mm.
Got it. So files are the end product, which again, that's fine. And the reason that is a good question and why it's confusing is because in real life, when we talk about a file, we still talk about the little manila folders, right?
Mhm.
It's like the file and folder are very, in real life, they kind of mean the same thing. They kind of mean this. A file or a folder in real life, and I'm trying to open one right here, give me a second, would be, I'm opening the wrong thing. So we recognize these things.
Mhm,
We tend to call them folders, right?
mhm.
Or files. Same thing with this, the hanging files.
Yes.
Okay, this is real life. In the computer, it's the opposite. This thing that we call a hanging file is a folder. It holds stuff. Folders only hold stuff on a computer. And this is also a folder in the computer. It holds stuff. So it doesn't matter that in real life they look a bit different. On the computer, they're both folders. And files are the things that are inside. So the actual bill or the actual, what's this? The actual thing
File.
that's inside the folder is what we call a file. Okay, guys?
Yeah, so
So
the folder
it's-
holds the files.
The folder holds the actual file. So this is something that the school teacher sent to me that my, I don't know, things that the school teacher needed me to know. And I stored it inside of a folder with my youngest son's school stuff. So that later when I look for it, I go find it. Now, inside of the school folder, I have my youngest son's school folder and I have my oldest son's schools folder. So I have two folders inside of the one folder called school. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So inside of one, I find the files related to my youngest son, and inside of the older folder, I find the files related to my oldest son. And that's how it works. Files are the end product versus folders are the holders. Okay, so we need to create folders to hold stuff, right? Which is what you guys have been doing.
Otherwise, your list is really long.
What's that?
Otherwise, your list is way long.
Yeah, so I want to, just like we did with your Bruce though, I want us to do the same thing. First of all, let me go back to documents and show Sharon how to make a folder again. So we don't want to make folders on your desktop. We want to make folders in your documents. So first you go to your documents. There you go. So Sharon, this is the answer to your question. How do we make a folder now? So I am seeing that she has home appliances. She has manuals. I see on her desktop, she has something called dishwasher, right? So how about we have,
Yeah, I'm working on that. I have to, it's this enormous thing and it's all folded up. And so I have to open it in Photoshop. So I have to make a bunch of duplicates and then I open it in Photoshop and I crop everything out except what'll fit in a 8.5 by 11 inch printer. And
Okay.
I'm trying to get this.
all right?
Oh, it's awful.
So the work looks like it's going to be huge, but let's fold it correctly. Let's store it correctly is all I'm talking about right now, right? So just to show Sharon again how to make a folder in here, and if you don't want it, you can get rid of it. Let's go and you select the folder you want, like in this case, documents. She's got documents selected and that's good because you don't want to make it in the desktop ever. And now go make a new folder. Go up to File, New Folder. Stop there and wait for Sharon to see. You see that, Sharon?
File, new folder. Yes, I'm with you.
So now click on New Folder. click on that choice, and a new folder will appear in her documents. And it first shows up like this, all highlighted. So now, without clicking or doing anything, just start typing the new name. And if
Okay,
you
got it.
have a folder you want to make right now, go ahead and make one. Otherwise, just call this one test folder. I don't know.
I
Uh,
made a dishwasher.
Go
And I
ahead
can
and call
put-
it dishwasher,
can
but you
put
already
it
have one called dishwasher, 3 items. So I would make another one.
I have a folder called dishwasher.
Yes, on your desktop, you have a called dishwasher, 3 items.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's called
those are all the
dishwasher.
cut, okay, scratch that.
Now, I have this file called hikes, and I just created the folder, but one is at the very top and the folder is at the very bottom. How do I
Drag, okay,
How
I'll
do I
have
pull
you,
it all the way down?
Mhm.
That's gonna get lost somewhere.
yeah, no, I'm gonna show you in a minute. So, first of all, you made a folder called Michelle,
Yes,
right? I'm just looking. So is that just a test one or does it have a reason?
well, it's my daughter. There's
Okay,
some
right.
stuff that I can move in there.
cool. So what if there's some of this, what if this, since it says Michelle and it's your daughter, I'm just suggesting, what if this one goes into personal? And this is to show Sharon, how do you move things in or out? Doesn't matter if it's a folder
Oh,
or a
okay, I
file,
can do that.
you drag them. So you grab it, do it slowly, you grab it and you drag it into personal. And when personal lights up, you let go.
Ah, what happened?
Yeah, it's okay, let go. When you hang on for it, it opens up and now back up. When you hang on to it for a little bit, it doesn't drop quickly. It just opens up for you. The new folder opens up. So do a little backup. Yep, click on that. And now if you open personal with that little arrow, Michelle is inside of it. Okay, so now if, and I'm just gonna have you put it in and out, right? Say, and this is for Sharon, say that that Warhol effect file you have there, say that that was for Michelle, right? And we're gonna move it in and out. So the last file you have is Warhol effect. Yeah, so go click on that
Oh, this
Warhol
one, I'm
effect,
sorry.
one above,
This
one
one?
above. Yeah. Say that this was for Michelle, drag it out and drop it in Michelle.
But these
Let
are very
go,
close.
let go. Yeah, and now when you back out, like go backwards up or go back to click on documents. Now, if you open Michelle, go and open Michelle, go down
That's
to
in
the word
personal.
Michelle,
Okay, there's Michelle.
and there's Warhol effect. Now, it wasn't for her actually, so you
That
can
should be in
I made her.
photography.
take it out. So go ahead and put, photography stuff is right underneath. Grab it and put it in photography stuff. Let it go and drop it. If you drop it off quickly, it doesn't go there. But if you hold on to it like you did, it goes there. All right. So Sharon, did that help you?
No. I
Okay.
have a file at the top,
Yeah.
like where she says Calais, Nogura.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I want to get that file into my new folder, which
Yeah.
is 2 pages down. So it's
Yeah.
through
Let
all
me
of
show,
it.
I'm going to share my
all on the
screen.
second
It's the
page.
same. It's the same. It just takes a little bit more doing, but it's the same. Let me show
Can
you.
can I not move my new folder up to where?
Let
the
me show you.
beginning?
Let me show you. Share my screen because I have. So here's an example of, I have a ton of documents, right? And I have a lot of different, say that I want to put this one all the way down in there, right? That's kind of what your example is. So I'll grab it and I'll start pointing down. And when I get to the bottom, I wait here and see how it all goes up. And then I drop it in there. So that, let me just do that again. Watch. I went all the way here and this is down, down, down there, right? I grab it and I move down and I'm not letting go of my mouse. And when I touch this bottom, it starts scrolling until I get there. And then I can drop it in the right place.
Got it. Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
So it's kind of like you need to hold it until it moves down.
Mhm.
Or, you know what I mean? And the more folders you make, the less of this you will have. You will get to the place where like Barbara or like Yolanda, you will have big folders. And so all these loose things will be easier. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like the more you start creating. Now, one last thing I want to show before I take another question here, Matt. What if you don't have a folder for something, right? you see all these files here are all rosters.
New-
And I look here and I don't have any folder that says roster. So you might have discovered that you have a ton of stuff, but you never made a folder for it. Maybe recipes or, class files or whatever. So you can choose them all first. So I'm going to choose them all. And here I have another one. And I'm holding down the command key, and here's another one. And let me see, here's another one. And here's another one. These are all files that should be under here, rosters, right? So
Yeah.
I first selected them all. So one option was what we did before, make a folder and then drag them all in. But if the folder has not been created yet,
Right click on the blue part.
I can select them all, then I right click on the blue part and I make a new folder with all of these items that I've just selected.
New
Okay.
folder.
11
Oh,
items. And now that folder can be, and it told me it couldn't, it didn't give me the chance to name it because I was in a hurry. Not long story. I have a problem happening with my files right now.
it should
So,
be-
right? So I'm going to select these top ones, right click, new folder with 8 items. It made a folder called new folder with items. And so now I'm going to call this one rosters summer 2022. Okay,
I checked both those folders right there.
what?
There were 2 new folders for you renamed it.
Yeah. It's just that I had a file that wasn't available the first time. So now there's my folder. And it took all my rosters at the same time. Most of the times, this is at the beginning when you're first organizing. Now, I have a ton of screenshots here, and I don't have time to look at them all right now and put them in the right place, but I want to clean this up. Well, that's easy. I'm going to grab all my screenshots, and remember, select one, hold down Shift, and select the top one. Right click, new folder with 6 screenshots, and call this one screenshots to name and organize, right? Oh,
And not to change the subject, but
but
Okay.
then don't, because I want to finish this. There's my screenshots to name and organize. I open it up. I have to organize these, but at least they're in one place. And that gives me less of that up and down. The more I begin to put things in stuff, then this can go and work on it and put it somewhere else. Does that make sense? So if you have things that are similar to each other, make a big folder for them. And then you can keep organizing. Good. Just wanted to show you. Yes. So what's that, Barbara? Because if it's
Yeah.
different, Irma has been asking a question for a while, but if it's on the exact same thing that I just showed, yeah, what's your question?
in my email, when I'm in a hurry, and I don't really want to check it out, I made a folder called new go back to.
Yeah.
And I'll drag a mail over there.
Yeah.
And then when I'm just sitting and, maybe watching TV, but not really, I'll go in there and check them out.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, thank you for saying that. My equivalent to that in the folders is I always have one folder called miscellaneous to organize. So I organize, and then sometimes there's a file that I don't even know where to put it right now. So instead of having them all loose like this, I might actually select all these files, right? And all the loose files, all the stuff that's nothing yet, I'm selecting it all. 1, 2, 3, how easy can it be? That's it. That's everything that's not in a folder. I'm going to right click, new folder with 30 items, and I'm going to call this one, I'm getting a message that it can't be completed. Okay, so I'm going to right click again, new folder with, okay, I don't know, there's some files that can't, but this is like a fake account, so that's why it's probably, give me a second.
Under new.
Okay, it's
folder.
doing them each time. See how I'm creating them, but it's not putting all the items in there. So this was my, yeah, okay. This has to do with me having had, I'm dragging them all into the new one and getting rid of it because I had, as I said, this is a kind of a fake account and these files don't really exist here. I don't even want to go in there. But here's my, let me keep putting all these in there. And in my new folder with 3 items, I'm just showing you one way to organize, which I think might be one of the better things you guys can do.
Yeah, this is very helpful.
I'm putting them all
great.
in, what's that?
This is great.
Yeah, I think it's really helpful. I keep putting them in the new folders to organize, I'm almost done. I think I have almost everything. And then this one, I'm gonna select it and called it miscellaneous to organize, right? Which is similar to what she just said, well, organize. So now, how much easier is it to look at my files? I can see when I open this one that I have a lot of stuff in there, right? That's inorganized, but now I have others. I finally can see what folders I really have. And I can go, oh, rosters and personal, there's a Mac class. How about I make another 2 Mac classes? So now let's make a new folder called classes. And now I'm going to put Mac class in there and Photoshop class in there and rosters as part of classes. So it's much easier, right? And when I have that kind of organized, then I open my miscellaneous and I go, let me see. Ooh, this is a class file. So I'll move it to classes. And how to look up your password, that's a class file. I'll move it up there. So it becomes easier to organize. Okay? Because things are makes much more sense. And then I see taxes and I go, maybe that should be into something that's called finances. So I make a folder. So here, oh, this is another way of making a folder. When you have space, that's the good news about this. When you have space, before we didn't have space, so we had to go to file new, but now that I have space, I can just right click or 2 fingers down and say new folder and make it this way and call this one financial stuff. And then I'll put the taxes in there. And then in my miscellaneous to organize, I had some quarterly sales results. I'll grab it and I know it's up there. So I'll scroll up and put it under financial, right? So you begin to organize. All right, I want to take questions now because I know I've been doing without actually.
You were going to show us how to do an alias file?
Yes,
Sorry
but
about
first I'm going to take Irma's question because she's been
Okay.
waiting for quite a while.
Okay, Diana, can you hear me?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, so how do you, how can I move some emails to my documents?
Oh,
That's a different question. So let me stop. And let me first get to Sharon's because that is part of the same thing and then I'll explain.
Okay.
Because how do you make an email? And this is what I want you to do, by the way, Barb. I want you to go back to your desktop. The other folders you have in there, please put them back in your documents because we stopped there. I didn't do that. You did it with Bruce's photos, but I need you to go to your desktop, grab whatever else is left and put it in your documents, yeah? And then,
I think I did.
well, you had only done one by the time I was done. The rest were still folders. They weren't here. Why don't we do it with you? So I'll share it with Shannon while I do. Go ahead and share your screen again.
Who, me?
Yes, because let's do that. The
Okay,
Sharon's
I gotta
question of how
grab
to
that
make
out of my-
Sharon's question was how to make an alias, and since I know you still had to do that with yours, move this over, yeah. Okay, so on her desktop, you have one alias, and can you tell us an alias? Look at
Oh, over
him,
here.
because it had the little over there, or inside of the Finder window, you see a teensy weensy little arrow on the
This
bottom
is
left.
an alias right here.
That's an alias, yeah. Now go look inside the Finder window and you can also distinguish it's an alias. See that it has, no, Finder window you have in front of, yeah. So see the very bottom thing says Bruce Photoshop? No, inside the file, right
Oh,
in
right
the white
here.
area, yeah. See how it has a teensy weensy little
Right here in the corner. of
arrow?
it.
Yeah, and if you look at the file kind, it says alias, right? At the very far right, under the descriptions kind,
Yeah,
it
it's right
says
here.
alias, right? So those are the ways you know it's an alias. Okay. Now, all it does is it's pointing to wherever the file really is, which if you look at the path at the very bottom, it shows you that it's inside of the alias is on the desktop, right? But the
Oh, I can't
alias weighs
find it.
nothing. The alias weighs nothing. It's like a feather versus all those Photoshop files were really heavy. The real Photoshop files are now in the actual
And they're in
documents.
documents.
So I want you to do the same thing with your photos folder and your dishwasher folder that you have still up here, okay? So I want you to grab that dishwasher folder and drag it into your documents.
Wait, where are documents right here?
And later, we'll make an alias for them, and then grab your photos folder and put it in your
I have
documents.
no clue what's in there because all my.
Well, so
photos
that's
are-
so, but that's
different.
so important, because if you didn't even know what was there, why was it on your desktop? The only reason to have something on your desktop if you need access to it really quickly. And if you don't need access to it really quickly, then just leave it in documents without an alias, right? But go back to documents now, because now we're going to make an alias. Say that you are walking, well, so go back to documents. And you had that dishwasher file folder that you said you're working on, right? Where is it? There it is.
Right here.
I also see that you have home appliances and manuals somewhere. So you might want to put dishwasher inside of home appliances.
Well,
I don't know.
I will when I'm done with,
Right,
do-
but why when I'm done with it? Why not
Well,
now?
because I have to keep making copies and cut them up and then,
I don't understand why that would, I'm just trying not to disagree with you, but to understand what difference would what you're doing
well,
have to do with where the folder is located? That's all I'm trying to understand.
we'll see all these copies,
Yeah,
but they're different sizes.
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
all
not
those,
asking, I'm not
all
asking you
those-
to,
the copies are, I blew it up, one copy, I
Yeah.
blew it up and then
Yeah.
I cut everything off of it
I-
except for
I hear you.
what I could print.
I hear you, but what I'm saying is, why do you have a folder called home appliances and one called dishwasher? Isn't dishwasher a home appliance?
Well, I'll put it in that after I get cutting all those up. Otherwise, I have to go to home appliances and then grab a dishwasher. and-
Precisely, no, that's why I'm saying, I'm gonna show you again
the
how to put the
alias?
shortcut, the alias, exactly. Grab that
Okay,
dishwasher,
so I close that.
and put it in home
bring it
appliance.
Down to home appliances.
Good, now open home appliances. And click on dishwasher, which is the one that you don't wanna have to go into documents, home appliances, dishwasher. Click on the dishwasher icon, and this is how we're making an alias, Sharon. Click on the dishwasher icon. Right click. And say, make alias. Down, 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 right click or two fingers down, a bit higher up, 1, 2, up, somewhere underneath. Like 2,
Remove.
3 choices down, rename, compress,
Oh,
make
there it
alias.
is.
There it is,
Okay.
make alias.
Make alias.
Now grab that alias and put it on the desktop. So you don't have to go in deep into all your organization.
Right.
You Just
I
click on that.
forgot about the alias.
But the dishwasher is in the right place where it makes sense in the future if you look for it. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mhm.
Yes.
Now, I want to show you one more thing. Let me show you. I'm going to request remote control for a second if you say yes to that, because I want to show you one more thing that I haven't shown you yet. Okay, so can you not move your mouse, please, Barb? So if you, now this is me moving it. Okay, so if you have this, let me close this for a second.
I need to move that, everybody over someplace else.
Yeah, you still have to move the rest of the stuff, but notice that the screen has the same stuff you had before, but these two things now are aliases. So they're taking up, as I said, it's like a
They're not
featherweight
taking
space
room.
versus these files. They might not be big or not, but they are taking up whatever space they take. In particular, this one that had photos and really big files, right? So now, these are pointers. If I want to get to Bruce's files, I just double click and the finder, the double click when I'm on Zoom doesn't work. And there we are, rewrite it his files. I'm going to close it. When I get, I have to right click open because my double click on Zoom doesn't open. There we are, dishwasher files installed page 1, 2, 3. So it's really easy to get to them without having to go in to navigate everything. Now,
I'm so fried. Oops.
one last thing. I want to show you something that I think is better than the alias. You can get to the point where you have 25 aliases and it's still complicated. But say that one thing that's better than alias. Can you open up your doc? Can you point to your doc? When their doc is hidden, I can't get to it. Can you put your mouse on your doc? Okay, so it'll be hard to show this. Let me, for a second, I'm gonna make your doc stay there for a little bit, just so that I can teach this, and then I'll, okay, so this is a temporary, so here's her doc, because I can't access it to show, and then I'll hide it again. So here's your doc, right? So here's the deal. As I said before, when your file is open and full of stuff, so here she has Safari open, so I'm going to open Safari. When your screen is covering your desktop, and then you have a Finder window open, and maybe you have your mail open, can you see your desktop?
No,
Is it easy to get to that desktop right now?
not really.
Not really. People like having things on the desktop, but if you are using your computer, the desktop is not handy. I've kind of mentioned this before, and I want to make a point. You're online, right? You're researching dishwasher stuff. I don't know. Let me just say that you've written in your dishwasher manuals, whatever. I'm inventing, and you're looking at a dishwasher manual. I'm going to just click on a dishwasher manual. And here I am in dishwasher manuals. Now I have to go, ooh, what information? What was my dishwasher? I don't know. How do I get to that desktop?
You click on or you hit the yellow thing, the yellow dot at the top, and it shrinks it.
I have to minimize this, and then suddenly I see my dishwasher, right? That seems kind of complicated. Another option would be, of course, if you don't have anything else open, so it's kind of hard. So I'm just showing these two things, and I don't want to open any. Another option would be, if I can't see that, another option would be I would have to open a Finder window, and I would have to go to Documents and Home Appliances and Dishwasher. Finally, I'm there. But we wanted to avoid that. That's what you made that shortcut, right? Because we didn't want to have to do that. So I have one more option for you guys. And this is the last thing I'm teaching you today. And then you guys have to work on this on your own and for ready for Wednesday. If I really need to, she's working on this right now. Remember, she's talking about how she's cutting and opening and doing all that kind of stuff. So this dishwasher alias is in the desktop right now, but my desktop is not easy to access. What's always easy to access is your doc. So watch. I'm gonna grab right here.
Oh, I know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm gonna put an even better thing than an alias. I'm gonna grab this folder, the one that I want to get to quickly. And watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just drag it over until I'm gonna put it right here in between the trash and this first line right there, right there.
Well, you put it
I'm
on the
gonna put
trash
it
side
right
of the
there.
line.
Now, and by the way, everyone should have this one here that yours is missing, the downloads. Okay, so that right now is my dishwasher stuff. Now, what does that mean? Instead of making an alias for it on my desktop, now she has an alias on her desktop, but if her desktop is full of stuff, the doc is always there, right? So say she has 2 or 3 things open, she's reading her mail, she's just doing all this stuff, and she now says, oh, shoot, I need to access my dishwasher information. Guess what? That is the same as an alias. It lives right there. It's the same as an alias, but it's accessible no matter what, versus the desktop is not accessible right now. So I go down here and I click on that. Then there are my 3 files. Maybe I open this one, maybe this one, or maybe I just want to see the folder. So then I just click open in Finder, and there it comes, dishwasher. But if I didn't want to, if I just wanted the page 1, I just click on page 1 and it opens up. But if not, I say open in Finder. So this is better than the reason it's better than, it's called a stack. It's better than an alias because it resides on your doc, which is always available. And guess what? You work on this dishwasher installation for a month, 2 months, whatever long as it takes you to install your dishwasher. When you're done and
No,
the
I've had it
dishwasher files are not
forever.
necessary, then you can just remove it. Just take it off, boom. The link is gone, and it's just some files in your computer that you find when you need to, versus having, right now, you have this living there and you need to remember to get rid of it, right? But that said, you can still do that. You can still have this be something that you will get later, or once again, go into home appliances. This is what I did. Dishwasher. I dragged it not into the trash. Be careful. You don't want to go in the trash. You want to put it right in between. Okay, right there. And that's where it goes. And that gives you quick access. As if you want to open Safari. Can you imagine that if every time you open Safari or Mail, you had to go into open a Finder window, go into applications, scroll down to find Safari and double click on Safari? No, you just go here and you click on Safari and Safari opens, right? Or any application that you use. Same with this. Now you go straight there to your dishwasher. So maybe you do the same thing with Bruce's files. Instead of having if you're actively working on them, you go to classes, whatever, wherever you had them. What did you call it? School. And then Bruce Photoshop. And then you just grab and you just put it in there. And so there are the files. So instead of that, you can get rid of these two and just use that. Now, right now, I'm not going to get rid of any of these for you. I'll leave them all there and you choose. Maybe you prefer the aliases, maybe you prefer these, but these are duplicates, right? The real thing is here. This is equivalent to that, but when your desktop is full, that's always available. When your desktop is not full, then yeah, you can just use that, but you can also use that. So why have two? Your choice at this point, but I'm showing people two different ways to put things that you need right now available. And then when you don't need them anymore right now, then you get rid of the aliases, you get rid of these guys, and then you go find them because you've organized things in a way that makes sense. You don't need your taxes available here all the time once you file them, but maybe in 3 years, someone says, hey, you need to show me your taxes. You go, oh, good. I put them under finances, 2019, boom, there they are. There are my taxes. But why keep them on your desktop if you don't need them? It's like keeping your Christmas stuff all year round in your living room. It's like, no, put them in the attic. And when you need them, you have them. Okay. So that is called a stack. This is called an alias. I prefer stacks because the desktop, my desktop is always full. My Photoshop is always open. My Illustrator is always open. My desktop is always covered up. So the desktop alias doesn't help me much, but the stacks are really helpful to get quickly what I want. But again, it's just a choice. You're fine. What's that?
What's that bar called across the bottom?
The doc?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just blank on. the
Yeah,
word.
no. And by the way, I forgot, I left your doc unhidden. So you need to go back and you want to share your screen again and I'll hide your doc again. I forgot.
I
Um,
remember.
So
Oh,
in-
I know where to go to do it.
you can hide it again. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Someone asked the question on how we can put emails in documents.
Yeah, so first of all, that was also Irma's question. First of all, that's the stuff I answer in level 2, but I'm happy to answer it if you ask me again on Wednesday.
Okay.
But in the end, here's the thing. Emails are not documents. They are a different kind of virtual element. And if you want to turn it into a document, you need to download it as a document, give that file a name, and then store it somewhere. You can do that. But
Oh,
an email
yeah.
is not a document, so you need to create a document out of it. So it's not a quick answer. I have to show you that whole process. And when I teach the email program, I teach it if someone asks me, but then sometimes I don't because no one asked me and I forget. But since 2 of you have asked me, can you write down that question and ask me again on Wednesday? Because it's not a quick thing to show. I'll have to show you how to
That-
save an email as a document to then save it. Okay.
Is that easier than copy and pasting?
It's
6 one,
different.
half a dozen.
yeah, it's different. Exactly. I'll show you the options. Yeah. Michelle, your hand is up. So both Irma and Irma's gone. Irma and Sharon, can you write down that question and ask me again on Wednesday? All right. Michelle, your hand has been up for a little while.
Yeah, I tried to move downloads on to the dock.
Yeah, that one should live there already. Hers was missing, so I put it in there. Go ahead and share your screen. It should be there already by default. When you open a computer, it's there. So maybe you can't move it because it's already there, but hers had been missing. Now you're sharing only your pipeline window with me. So can you go back and share again? I'll stop your share. And this time when you do a share, choose your top left choice, which is desktop. So I can see your entire desktop. Okay, and then say share. So after the first green share, you have a choice of what you share with me. Go to the top left choice, which will say desktop, and then hit the second share button.
Do we get it?
Good. So look at your dock. To
Uh-huh.
the right, furthest right of your dock. There's your
Oh.
trash and there's your downloads. That just comes with the computer. So that's it. So you can quickly get to your access to your downloads from there.
Okay.
Hers was
I
missing,
did-
so I threw it in there. But if you just click on downloads now, click on downloads. It opens up and you left it empty now, so there's nothing there. So you can just open it, it'll be empty. If you had something there, you would see the names under there, but you
Okay.
did a good job of emptying it. Yeah.
Well, I have a problem is because I tried to put it between the two and it ended up in the trash. So how do I retrieve
I
it?
don't think so. Open the trash. Yeah, you don't have it. You can't put the documents in the trash. So, I mean, your document, I'm sorry. You can't put your downloads in the trash. Your documents, yes. Is this your documents that you put in the trash?
Say it again?
Yeah, did you mean you put your documents in the trash, not your downloads in the trash?
Oh, I
see-
thought I
I
was.
see
putting-
documents in the trash. Are these purposefully in the trash or was this a mistake?
No, I guess I did the wrong thing. Okay,
Okay,
yeah. how
so
do
go
I-
to the Word documents, right click on the Word documents, 2 fingers down. And now say, I was gonna say put back, but you can't because it's a folder. Okay, so stop me for a minute, move away from this for a minute. So where should these? Go to the left to the word documents on the sidebar. Yeah, click on documents. So a few notes Carl made. So how to tutorials. So 5 items. Okay, now go back to your trash again. Open up and go to the bottom and open up a trash window so we can compare to make sure they're the same thing. Drag this out of the way a bit. Yeah, and it looks like they're the same things. A few home. Yeah. So basically, because you can't really get rid of your documents folder, even though you put them in there, it's not. Yeah, right. Go ahead and right click on a few notes Carl made to see if it lets you put that one back. Yeah, because they're not, yeah, that's weird. You got them duplicated, but no, this is okay. This stuff is still in the right place. So if you trash.
But what about like this?
Yeah, so is that something you do want?
I don't even know what it is.
It's an application, Grand Perspective. So you don't remember downloading it?
No, I think Carl might have though.
Okay, so if it's an application that you want, you look at the date and it says December 26, 2021. So that's really old. So if Carl really wants it, I would recommend he download it again. But maybe he paid a lot of money and he can't download it again. So ask him.
Okay.
If he does need it, he could, and he's paid, he could probably go and download a fresh version. If not,
It said put it back. When
if she wants to put it back, yeah, but yeah, you can just go say and put it back, but why put it back if it's trash, right? So now it's in downloads again. Ask him what it's all about. And if it's just not something you need, put it in the trash again and get rid of it. But if it's something you want,
Okay.
then yeah. And then
And then these Zoom ones we already took care of,
those
right?
we're gonna care of, yeah, but I'm concerned about what the other ones, the one that say documents. So I just want to make a test, okay? Go over here to where it says downloads the Grand Perspective, close that window so that we don't have, no, on the, yeah, close that window so it's out of the way. Yeah, just go ahead and grab a few notes Carl made from the trash and just drag it over to documents and let's see if it, move it out. Yeah, so no, so stop. Okay, so it is considered a second one. Okay, so now go ahead and right click on a few notes Carl made and say delete immediately. Mhm. So all of these turned into like duplicates when you put them because you can't really put in a big document folder like that. So you're fine getting rid of all of these and it's not deleting the stuff that's in there. So you're fine. So you can empty your trash
Same
now.
thing?
No, just go ahead and empty your trash and then everything will delete because, so go right click and say empty trash, which is 3 down. You sure you want to permanently erase everything? Yeah, empty all your trash. Cool.
That's a lot of stuff.
Because, yeah. So you're fine.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and now you have nothing in your trash. You still have in the downloads that application, Grand Perspective, that who knows what it is, ask Carl.
Okay,
And then decide if you get rid of it or not. And then your documents is empty, your desktop, your documents has these things. Your desktop looks like it's empty, right? Yeah, you already cleaned your desktop out. So cool.
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So guys, that's your job between here and Wednesday is to empty out your downloads. Leave only stuff that you don't know that you need to ask me, what is this? Empty out your desktop. If you really, really desperately need something on your desktop, bring back an Alias or make a stack in the dock, your choice. You don't need both. And then we're gonna keep working with questions about what's on your documents, including the question about how do you make documents out of your emails or not, or how do you save things? We're gonna opening applications and creating documents that Sharon also asked. She had actually in folders, but files to put them in these documents. So just try your goal to be to have no more than 5 to 10 max folders in your documents folder within which everything resides. Even if one of them is called miscellaneous to organize and you are still organizing and putting things in places, right? But that's the ideal for things to be more handleable. Okay.
How do I exit from Dropbox? There is no quit Dropbox. There's no red thing to click on.
Well, Dropbox is just shows up like if you don't click on it, you don't see it, right? If you click on it, you see what's in it. And when you click away, you don't see it. It's
So
just
if you
another
click
place
away
where
on
your
that
stuff
place-
is. So don't click on it. Now, if you are in and you have nothing there that's interesting and you're never going to use it and you're paying for it, you might want to just stop paying. If you're not paying for it and it's free and there's nothing in there, then nothing. If you just don't want to use it anymore, you can just right click and just get removed from the sidebar and you never access it again. I just don't know if you're paying for it or not, or if there's anything in there or not. And since you can't share your screen, I can't tell, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah, guys, class has been over now for
Well, see you
10
Wednesday.
minutes. So if
Thank
you have
you.
an urgent question, I'll answer. Dorothy has been very quiet, so I'll answer
Okay.
the
I have a
question.
class starting.
Dorothy?
Whatever started.
How do you, I might have missed this part. How do you know if you've downloaded one of those DMG files or installed it? How would
Yeah,
you
you
know?
go to applications and look and see
Oh,
if the
it would be
application
in
is there. Yeah,
Okay.
so what was Grand Perspective, right? She had a DMG. So if I go over here to the Gs and I don't see Grand
Oh.
Perspective, that means it's not installed.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Good
All
class.
right,
Thank
great
you.
question.
you.
All right, guys,
Great
see you
class.
Bye,
on
thank you.
Wednesday. Organize yourself. See me on
Thank
Wednesday.
you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.